P1FCU, we're all about celebrating your wins, like finding an extra $10 in the wash.
Sweet.
Or your team winning the championship.
And it's out of here.
Yes! Woo!
Your wins add up, just like earning dividends in an Ascend checking account. So let's celebrate the wins together. Open your account at p1fcu.org/win. P1FCU, your community, your credit union.
Welcome to What If Idaho, the home of 1,000 paths for those that embrace possibility. There's no better place to be if you're looking for that next career, or just exploring. Life is a wide open door, no matter your age. Here at Next Steps Idaho, you can research careers and training options that work for you, and start a dashboard to keep your plans moving forward, so you can route your path from what if to what is at nextsteps.idaho.gov.
Our army of IdahoSports.com action photographers are covering games all over the state. And now we've revamped our galleries to make it even easier to find and order your favorite action shots. Just go to IdahoSports.com and click the Action Photos link in the menu.
Dear Detour, you asked us to measure up. So yeah, we did. When life slings you mud, sling it right back. Stay strong. Toyota Trucks.
Toyota. Let's go places.
Taking the hard path isn't always easy. It takes courage and determination to do hard things. Quitting tobacco and vaping is possible.
You decide when. We'll show you how. Learn more at projectfilter.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
Always entertaining and occasionally controversial, the North Idaho Prepcast covers every inch of District 1 and District 2 activities in Idaho.
Bonners Ferry, like the whole town was there, it seemed. I mean, they showed up, they were tailgating in the parking lot, barbecuing, playing games. Like, it literally felt like a small college atmosphere. It was super cool.
Hosted by Ryan Skaggs, the North Idaho Prepcast features the biggest stories happening in your area. Just go to IdahoSports.com and click Prepcasts in the menu to get caught up on what you've been missing, or check out each week's episode on the IdahoSports.com YouTube channel, Facebook page, or wherever you download podcasts.
At Valleywide Cooperative, we're here when you need us. For 100 years, we have been here to help you with food, fuel, and good old-fashioned advice. And for us, serving is more than a job, it's a way of life, which is why we pour so much into the communities around us. We've employed hundreds of your neighbors. We take pride in that, and in giving back millions in sponsorships, grants, donations, and scholarships. It's our way of saying thanks. We're Valleywide, and yesterday, today, and tomorrow, we're here for you.
Do you show your Vandal pride? Dave sure does. He proudly dons the silver and gold when he's at work, mowing the yard, and especially on game day.
Hey, can we get 3 tacos?
I got this.
Where did you get that?
You don't have a Vandals debit card?
Don't worry, Dave. You can get your Vandal debit card by visiting p1fcu.org/govandal. Go Vandals!
Always entertaining and occasionally controversial, the North Idaho Prepcast covers every inch of District 1 and District 2 activities in Idaho.
Bonners Ferry, like the whole town was there, it seemed. I mean, they showed up, they were tailgating in the parking lot, barbecuing, playing games. Like, it literally felt like a small college atmosphere. It was super cool.
Hosted by Ryan Skaggs, the North Idaho Prepcast features the biggest stories happening in your area. Just go to IdahoSports.com and click Prepcasts in the menu to get caught up on what you've been missing, or check out each week's episode on the IdahoSports.com YouTube channel, Facebook page, or wherever you download podcasts. Good afternoon and welcome into this IdahoSports.com GameStreams production of the 2023 Idaho High School Football Postseason, presented by the Idaho Transportation Department and Ideal, Idaho's college savings program. Additional coverage today is presented by Project Filter, the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare, Valleywide Cooperative, Next Steps Idaho, Your Health Idaho, and your local Toyota dealers. We are broadcasting live from the Kibbe Dome on the campus of the University of Idaho in beautiful Moscow up north for what is going to be a fantastic 1A D2 quarterfinal matchup. It is the Dietrich Blue Devils at 6-3 taking on the two-time defending state champions from Kendrick. They check in with a record of 7-0. Hi, everybody inside the broadcast booth. Brandon Bainey alongside Garrison Hardy. A David versus Goliath story, if ever there was. Kendrick is the Goliath, the two-time defending champs. They come in on a 22-game win streak. Dietrich brought the slingshot. Did they bring enough rocks today?
That is the question, Brandon. Good to be back here with you in the booth. And Dietrich, by the way, I'm sure has had this game circled on their calendar all year. I mean, we all remember the championship game last year where Kendrick defeated Dietrich 42-34, and that was Dietrich's only loss last year.
Yeah, that championship game was played in the other dome, Holt Arena in Pocatello, and it was literally Dietrich was driving for the game-winning touchdown with less than a minute to play when a young freshman named Nathan Twite intercepted a pass at the goal line for Kendrick to secure the win. Now, we may see Twite today, we may not. Talking to Coach Zane Hobart, he's been a two-way starter this year at wide receiver and defensive back as only a sophomore. But Coach Hobart says he got a little banged up in the season finale against Deary, which Kendrick won, by the way, 112-6. And he didn't practice at all during the bye week. He practiced a little bit this week, and they're going to test him out and see how he goes. But the thing with this Kendrick team is there's so much depth that if they're missing a guy, they can plug in somebody else, and there's not much drop-off at all.
Well, that's the thing with this Kendrick roster that has helped them sustain this kind of success. Like you mentioned, that 22-game win streak. You don't get to that point if you only have a couple guys you can rely on. Kendrick is locked and loaded. I mean, they've got ballers all over this roster with Ty Kep, Wyatt Fitzmaurice, Hunter Taylor, Sawyer Hewitt. These guys can all put points on the board, and they're all locked into what this program has been building over the last 3 years. Zane Hobart, he's got quite the crew, and that's why a lot of people like the potential three-peat out of Kendrick.
It's always nice when Zane Hobart can get back inside the Kibbe Dome. Of course, his dad, Ken Hobart, one of the greatest quarterbacks in Idaho Vandal history. Got to see both Hobarts quickly before the game today. And for Dietrich, I mean, they are the true road warriors. Last week, in the opening round of the playoffs, they finished in third place in their district this year, District 4, behind Camas County and Hagerman, which are both in the quarterfinals. So it tells us that's a pretty good league. But they had to go to play District 3 champion Council in the opening round last Thursday. They win by a final score of 50-28. Now, Council scored the first touchdown of the game, Garrison. Dietrich said, that's all right, we're good. They forced 3 turnovers, and using those takeaways, were able to build up a large enough lead that Council was never really in it. And Dietrich is hoping to do the same thing today. Coach Brody Estelle says we have to get off to a fast start.
Right, and by the way, that just shows me the resilience of this Dietrich team, given that on their senior night, they lost 88-18 the previous week to bounce back and beat a pretty good Council team like that. That shows me that they come locked and loaded, ready to put up a fight against this Kendrick Tigers team, which for all intents and purposes is that Goliath, as you mentioned. So I look for Dietrich to come out guns a-blazing and lay it all out on the field. We're in the playoffs. We're in the Dome. We're in against a fantastic opponent in Kendrick. Why not us?
That's right. Speaking of that Camas County loss that Dietrich had in their regular season finale, their senior night, 88-18, Coach Estelle said that's the opposite of what we want. We looked up. It was the first half. We looked up and it was 36-0, like in the blink of an eye.
Right.
And we were kind of shell-shocked at that point. He said, if we can come out and start good today and just be in the mix, whether it's the second quarter, third quarter, whether we're trailing or whether we're leading, he said, we just want to be in the mix and within striking distance. And I think that's a good goal for this Dietrich team. Now, he says, obviously, we know the situation coming in here. Kendrick is the 800-pound gorilla, and they have beaten 1A D1 teams this year. They've beaten 1A D2 squads. I mean, I think they could play 11-man football and beat a couple of teams up here in the area. And he said, so we know coming in what the deal is. But
We just want this to set the tone for what we are hoping is a great offseason. Now, the offseason will be even greater if they're still playing again next week. But
absolutely. And, as a underdog, if you are able to keep within striking distance, at the end of the day, that should be the goal. Keep within striking distance, because once you get to the fourth quarter and you're still within a possession or two, anything can happen. And now from Kendrick, obviously, on the flip side, they're going to want to snuff this game out as quickly as possible and leave no doubt in the first half, because when you're heading into the locker room and you're down by, say, 28-plus points, that is incredibly demoralizing. And, the coaches can make the argument all they want. Well, they did it in one half, so can we. It doesn't necessarily feel that way if you're putting on the pads and going out there. So it's going to be interesting to see how Dietrich comes out. They got some ballers in their own right. Brody Torgerson, Chase Norman, Connor Perkins at quarterback. He's going to have to be a real gunslinger today. But he also plays some defensive back, so he's got some wheels on him. It's going to be interesting to see how Dietrich comes out and throws those couple of stones, as you referred to earlier.
That's right. Well, Dietrich will be kicking off to start this afternoon's contest. Dietrich in white jerseys, black pants. They have sky blue trim around the shoulders. They're wearing black helmets. They've got black letters and numbers with sky blue trim around them. Kendrick in the home orange. Orange pants, orange jersey, black letters and numbers, white trim around them, black helmets with the orange tiger paw. It is Dietrich kicking off. Emmett Zimmers to do the honors right to left as you're hearing it. It's an onside kick. It is recovered by Kendrick and returned out to the Dietrich 43-yard line. They went for the onside kick. It goes right to Lane Clemenhagen, and that's where Kendrick will start, 1st and 10.
I really like it. We're talking about how in order to pull off an upset against a program like Kendrick, you've got to pull out all the stops, and they did just that. You may as well go for the onside there. Didn't come up with it that time, but, hey, that shows Kendrick they're going to have to be on their toes.
Kendrick led by head coach Zane Hobart in his 12th year leading this program. Career record of 85-31. That is a .733 winning percentage. 1st and 10. Out of the shotgun is Ty Kep. Back to pass with a man in motion. Out route is caught at the 40-yard line up to the 35 on the near sideline. Cut inside the 20 to the 15 to the 10. Breaks another tackle. This is Sawyer Hewitt inside the 5 and diving into the end zone. It is a touchdown on the opening play of the game from 43 yards out. And just like that, 6-0 Tigers.
And there's really nothing extravagant about what they ran there. It was just a simple crossing route. But when you've got an athlete like Sawyer Hewitt running across the middle, keep it simple. Let the athletes do the work. And Ty Kep did just that. Simple crossing route, 43-yard touchdown.
And now Kendrick will line up and go for 2. We will introduce you to the Kendrick starting offense at some point today. They scored on the first play, so here are the Tigers lining up for 2. Kep out of a shotgun. Tailback is Fitzmaurice. It'll be a keeper for Kep straight up the middle and in for the 2-point conversion as well. So in the blink of an eye, 17 seconds into the contest, 11:43 to play opening quarter, an 8-0 lead for Kendrick. That's a nice start.
That's exactly a nice start. That's what we talked about earlier, is that Kendrick wants to come out and make a statement immediately. They want to put this game beyond doubt as quickly as possible. And, scoring in 17 seconds is a decent way to assert your dominance here. Now, Dietrich, they just got punched in the mouth. How are they going to respond here on this kickoff? And does Kendrick respond with an onside kick? Just something to be aware of, folks.
Yeah, it could be an interesting chess match between these two coaches. Coach Brody Estelle for Dietrich, Zane Hobart for Kendrick. They met up in the championship game last year. So, yeah, Coach Estelle, he was a co-coach last year with his uncle, Rick Estelle. He's now the full-time head coach for Dietrich in his first season, a 6-3 record so far to his name. He's also the athletic director at Dietrich High School and one of the greatest guys. I mean, I immediately lit up when I got to talk to Brody before the game today. We don't see each other often, but when we do, it's always nice. We're always emailing each other. I'm always pestering him for, Dietrich info, but he's a good young rising star in this coaching industry.
And hey, starting out at 6-3 with a lot of talent lost from that previous team, that's an excellent way to have your first year with the program. And now he gets an opportunity here against Kendrick.
So here are the Tigers kicking off left to right as you are listening. And kicking off here for Kendrick will be Carson Hogan. Hogan, left-footed kick, will take a bounce inside the 15 on the near sideline. and go out of bounds for an illegal procedure penalty. So Dietrich is going to start here in pretty good position. Let's introduce you to the Dietrich starting offense for this contest. They are quarterbacked by Connor Perkins, and he has done it all this year, Garrison. 1,169 yards and 14 touchdowns passing, 1,095 yards and 20 touchdowns rushing. So he has gone over 2,000 yards of total offense for the season.
And, you know, he knows coming into this game that it's going to be a lot on his shoulders if they're going to stay in this one. So be looking for Coach Assel to get Perkins out in space if he can, to have some simple routes to get the receivers going, get their confidence up early on. It's going to be fun to see what Perkins can come up with here.
Yeah, Perkins was the starting wide receiver on last year's team, made the move to quarterback this year, and Coach Estelle says, hey, it's a no-brainer, right? Dietrich is going to make Kendrick re-kick here. So the first kickoff went out of bounds. They said instead of taking it at the 40, we'll have you re-kick. So Kendrick's going to kick off from their own 35-yard line now. Give a chance for Dietrich to make a special teams play. Perkins has returned a couple of kicks for touchdowns this season. It's picked up off the turf, just shy of the 20-yard line by Wyatt Sneddon on the far sideline and snuffed out immediately by Kendrick. And so Dietrich gambles by making Kendrick re-kick, and now they're starting from their own 15-yard line, where it will be 1st and 10. The rest of the Dietrich offense, we told you Perkins at quarterback. Up front, the guards are sophomore Jason Hollabaugh and senior Brady Torgerson. Sophomore Chris Romero is the center, so 2 sophomores starting up front. The tight end is senior Rain Reese. The wide receiver is junior Chase Norman. The fullback is senior Emmett Zimmers. Running back is sophomore Wyatt Sneddon, and then, of course, Perkins, the senior, at quarterback. 1st and 10 for Dietrich, starting from their own 19-yard line, actually, out of a shotgun. They will hand off here on 1st down off the left side up to the 19, and maybe a gain of a couple inches on the carry was Sneddon. It's going to be 2nd and 10 officially.
Yeah, it's interesting how Kendrick lines up on defense. They start out with 2 down linemen. So it's going to, you mentioned the inexperience potentially on the offensive line. That's going to be the question mark here. Can they stop these blitzing backers and safeties over the top from Kendrick?
2nd and 10 for Dietrich. From their own 19-yard line. 2 receivers stacked to the right side of the formation. Perkins rolling out and looking that way, has room to run, and he will take it across the 25 and slips out of bounds. They'll say officially he stepped out right at the 25, so that's a pickup of 6 to make it 3rd and manageable. Let's meet that Kendrick defense. Up front, the defensive ends are a pair of juniors, Brock Boyer and Wyatt Cook. Dallas Morgan, the senior, plays the nose. The linebackers are seniors Wyatt Fitzmaurice and Lane Clemenhagen. And then in the secondary, the corners are seniors Hunter Taylor and Mason Kimberline, and the safety spot will be occupied by Sawyer Hewitt, the junior. So 3rd and 4 for Dietrich from their own 25-yard line, working right to left. It's a 4-wide set, quarterback draw for Perkins, breaks to the outside, trying to get to the edge. He's got it, the 30, the 35, the 40, and finally tiptoes out of bounds around the 42-yard line on the near side, and that's exactly what Connor Perkins can do with his feet.
Man, a dual threat quarterback like that covers up a lot of sins and a lot of mess ups. He originally wanted to run that play right up the middle into the teeth of that Tigers defense, didn't like what he saw, booked it to the near sideline, and now they've got a 1st down and fresh set of chains.
A gain of 17 there on 3rd and 4 for Perkins on the quarterback keeper. And like you said, he went up the middle, and that door was slammed pretty quickly by Kendrick. And he broke a couple of tackles on that big run as well. 10:47 to play, 1st quarter, 8-0 lead for Kendrick. 1st and 10 for the Devils. Under center, split backs this time, and a penalty flag comes out. False start on Dietrich.
That's what you can't have against a team like Kendrick. The penalties, shooting yourselves in the foot here. You're already up against the buck. You gotta stay composed. I know there's some excitement, especially on the opening drive, but you gotta stay composed. Can't let that happen.
This is a Dietrich defense that is only allowing 10.9 points per game. Season high, they allowed 28 against Butte County, which is a 1A D1 program. So anytime you can get some positive momentum going. 1st and 15, split backs again. It's a cross buck to Zimmers off the right side, and Zimmers met straight on immediately by Wyatt Cook, the defensive end. No gain, and might even be a loss of a yard on that carry for Zimmers. It's 2nd and 16.
And Wyatt Cook standing at 6'3", 209 pounds, tight end, defensive lineman. He's got some size to him, but he's also got some quickness there, quick to get off that block and get into the backfield.
So 2nd and 16 for Dietrich. 2 receivers stacked to either side. Perkins all alone out of the shotgun. Kendrick looks like they may blitz, and they do. They send 4. Penalty flag comes out. Perkins sacked back at the 25-yard line as well. I mean, I'm no math major here, Garrison, but there were 3 linemen up front. Kendrick sent 4. That's going to be a problem every single time. We'll see what the penalty flag is as well. But for the moment, a sack for Kendrick.
And it looks like the official looked over to the Kendrick sideline, got a decline penalty. So it was another false start penalty. That's the signal. And, to your point, when they're rushing 4, you've got 3. And then on top of that, the athletes in the secondary for Kendrick are so good that they can really put a lot of pressure on those receivers early on, not let them get into their routes and whatnot. That's just not a winning equation for Dietrich, as we say.
Yeah, it's a loss of 9 on the sack for Perkins. It's going to bring up 3rd down and about 28 here. They've got to get to the Kendrick 48-yard line for the first down. The ball is presently at their own 34. And again, 4 wide. Only 2 down linemen this time for Kendrick. Perkins has time, going to step up, throw deep over the middle between 2 defenders. It is off the hands of Norman, incomplete. 4th down. I'll tell you what, he threw that up into double coverage, but Norman was there at the 45-yard line. He would have had the first down, can't quite hang on.
Yet Norman was actually behind the safeties, had a couple of steps on him. If Perkins was able to deliver that ball over the top, we're talking about maybe, obviously a first down, but maybe even a touchdown here. So good recovery there from Kendrick to close down on that ball. Perkins maybe get a little bit more on it next time.
And those are the types of plays that Dietrich can't leave out there on the field, trailing 8-0 already, 9:44 to play first quarter. Another penalty out here, and this time it may be against Kendrick, and it is.
That certainly helps the punt situation here, as they'll get 5 yards tacked onto that and see what they can do going here. And back ready to receive, I believe that is number 11, Nathan Twite, actually. We talked about him earlier. Or unless that's just the stripes on the jersey.
That's the stripes. Everybody's got the 11 on the shoulders.
Just kidding.
Yeah, that's Hunter Taylor, number 10, back deep. He's standing at his own 30-yard line here. Following the 5-yard encroachment penalty, Dietrich will kick it away. That is a good high kick. It is floating back to the 30 where Taylor retreats to get it. Up to the 35, heads up the far sideline, gets a great block. The 45, the 50, the 40. He's got a convoy of blockers. The 25, the 20, cuts back inside to the 15, to the 5, and into the end zone for a Kendrick touchdown. That is a 70-yard punt return to the house for Hunter Taylor.
I mean, what can we say about Hunter Taylor? He's just an elite athlete out in space. And honestly, Dietrich is probably going to have to consider some rugby-style punts here to have these low, driven-in punts where maybe Taylor doesn't have a lot of time to make a decision. They're going to have to come up with something new on the punt coverage.
And you saw the patient running as well. He stopped on a dime for a moment right around the 50-yard line, waited for his blockers to get out. And now Kendrick will line up and go for 2. It's straight up the middle with Wyatt Fitzmaurice, and he's in. And 16-0 Kendrick with 9:27 to play first quarter. They have run 1 play offensively, Garrison.
They've had time of possession 17 seconds, plus a little extra change here for the punt return. Dietrich, obviously we're seeing 2 very different styles. Dietrich, they would like to slow this game down, run some clock. That's a smart way to play, but they just got to stay on the field. They got to avoid the penalties that push them back so far, and they might be able to get some things moving here. But otherwise, you're handing the ball over to the deadly weapon that is Kendrick.
Well, while we've got a moment, Garrison, let's thank a couple of our sponsors here today.
Yeah, looking for your next new home, farm, ranch, investment, or commercial property? If so, be sure to look no further than Ken and Valerie Hobart and Windermere Real Estate for help. With over 22 years of experience in north central Idaho, they are licensed in both Washington and Idaho to help make your dreams a reality wherever they may be. 2 great agents to serve you with one mission, to help you with all your real estate needs. The choice is easy when it comes to real estate in the LC Valley and surrounding areas. Ken and Valerie Hobart with Windermere Real Estate. The Hobarts are proud to support Kendrick Athletics and want to wish the Tigers good luck today.
Our officials for today, they've had to throw the flag a number of times already on both sides. We've got Dan Marsh as our head referee, Brad Higgins, the umpire, Richard Bearlocker, the linesman, Kirby Kirkham, the field judge, and Kyle Helm, the back judge. These are all gentlemen from District 2, which is right where Kendrick plays. Tigers kicking off left to right here, 9:27 to play first quarter. It is hauled in at the 10-yard line by Perkins, heads up to the 20 and cut down right at the 21-yard line. Good tackle from behind that time by Wyatt Cook. He's been all over the field here in the early going. It'll be 1st and 10 for Dietrich, starting at their own, officially their own 21-yard line.
That's when you know you got an athlete at quarterback that not only was he a former wide receiver, he's back on your kick returns, receiving the kicks. So pretty good burst up there through that original gap and gets him out to the 21.
Yeah, you know, he drives the team bus. He works the concession stand at halftime.
Brings the snacks.
That's right. 1st and 10, split backs under center. They give to Zimmers off the right side, and Zimmers will get a yard, and that's it. Kendrick able to string it out, and that is the big nose tackle. Dallas Morgan coming up with the tackle. He's a big guy, 6'3", 262. Gain of 2, officially 2nd and 8. So Morgan last year got injured right as the playoffs were starting, so he had to watch from the sidelines as Kendrick, you know, played Dietrich in that championship. And so it's nice to see Dallas Morgan back out there playing this year and healthy.
Well, 262, it's really impressive that he's moving that nimbly out there, able to get out in front and bring him down. Just another athletic freak on the Tigers team.
4 wide, screen pass to Zimmers, almost dropped it, hung on, but that hesitation allows Kendrick to come up defensively to make the tackle. They threw it to Zimmers on the near sideline, and coming up to make the stop for the Tigers that time defensively is Wyatt Fitzmaurice. That's a loss of 2. We're right back where we started here, 3rd and 10.
Yeah, that was kind of a tough catch, and so he wasn't able to catch it on the run. And as a result, the Tigers' defense incredibly speedy. They're not going to give you much time to make that turn upfield. Got to be quicker.
3rd and 10 for Dietrich from their own 21-yard line. 8:05 to play first quarter. A 16-0 lead for the Tigers. We've got 3 wide this time. 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Tailback on the left hip of Perkins. Will roll out right side, gets a good block from his back, Sneddon. Now we'll try and take off and run, and we'll get right to the 20-yard line, and that's it. Fumbles at the end, but he's ruled down. It'll be 4th down, officially a loss of a yard for Perkins, and another punt upcoming for the Blue Devils.
Yeah, this is what makes Coach Hobart and his adjustments just so great. You know, we've already seen what Perkins can do with his legs, and already there's numerous spies watching his every move. So as soon as he tucked the ball, got ready to run, they were there to corral him and not let him get out into the open field.
Yeah, it's like that song by the Police, I'll be watching you.
That's right.
So 4th down and 9. Dietrich will punt here. Hunter Taylor standing at his own 43-yard line. Here's the kick. It's a spiraling end-over-end kick. It'll take a bounce at the Dietrich 40 and a roll up to the 46-yard line officially of the Blue Devils. So Kendrick will start 1st and 10 in Dietrich territory. Considering what Taylor did on the last punt return, I'd say that's all right. So let's quickly introduce you to this Kendrick offense in case they, decide to score in one play again. Quarterbacked by Ty Kep, the incredible senior, 4-year starter for this Kendrick team. What a career he's had this season. 33 passing touchdowns, 7 on the ground. That is 40 total touchdowns for Ty Kep, one of the most decorated quarterbacks, not just in Kendrick history, but Idaho 8-man history. And we've got an early timeout here from Dietrich. So let's get you the rest of the Kendrick starters here on offense. So we told you Ty Kep at quarterback. Up front on the offensive line, the guards are junior Brock Boyer and senior Dallas Morgan. The center is junior Carson Hogan. The wide receivers today, senior Hunter Taylor and the senior Mason Kimberline. At fullback is senior Wyatt Fitzmaurice. The running back Sawyer Hewitt is a junior, and then Kep, the senior, at quarterback. And the Dietrich defense today, too, really quickly, and then I'll let you jump in, sorry. Up front, defensive ends are Jason Hollabaugh, the sophomore, Emmett Zimmers, the senior. The nose tackle is Chris Romero, the sophomore. 2 linebackers for Dietrich, a pair of seniors, Brody Torgerson and Rain Reese. In the secondary, the corners are junior Chase Norman and sophomore Wyatt Sneddon, and the safety is senior Connor Perkins. That is the Dietrich defense.
Yeah, I was just going to touch on this Kendrick team going forward. Obviously, they have a lot of senior leadership on this team that has gotten them to this point and with a lot of wins under their belt, but they also have a great youngster program right now in the junior high level. They had a double-digit win streak going on in their own right. So Coach Hobart has Kendrick set up for years of success even after this year.
It all starts at that middle school level. Out of the timeout, 1st and 10. Handoff up the middle to Sawyer Hewitt. He bounces to the outside across the 25 and finally steps out of bounds at the 16-yard line. That is a pickup of 30 and a first down.
Yeah, Sawyer Hewitt, he led the way with that 43-yard touchdown reception in the first drive. And it's just a very simple offense. Get it to your athletes out in space and let them go to work. And we're seeing that right here with another 30 yards from Hewitt.
1st and 10 for Kendrick. Ball is at the Dietrich 16-yard line, already leading 16-0 with 6:51 to play first quarter. Kept out of a shotgun, receiver to either side. Fitzmaurice straight up the middle, lowers the shoulder, and will be brought down around the 7. We'll see officially where they spot it at. It's going to be awfully close to the first down marker. I think officially it's going to be 2nd and 1.
Good hit there from Brody Torgerson, and in the middle of that defense there, the linebacker standing at 6'1", over 200, and he really filled the gap there. Still, good run from Fitzmaurice up the gut.
He is the fullback, the bruiser, as it were. It is 2nd and 1 for Kendrick. Ball at the Dietrich 7-yard line. Receiver to either side. Now Taylor in motion from right to left. They'll fake the sweep to Taylor. They'll go straight up the middle with Kep, and he's into the end zone for the touchdown on the 7-yard quarterback keeper. Kendrick now leading 22-0.
Make that 41 touchdowns on the year for Kep. So his fantastic run continues with a run of his own right up the gut. Just great field vision there, seeing the opening and taking it in for the score.
So a 7-yard touchdown run from Ty Kep. Already 2 touchdowns today. And now they'll line up and go for 2. Receiver to either side. Kep out route, caught and completed. That is a successful 2-point conversion, and hauling in the pass was Lane Clemenhagen. He's known for his skills at linebacker. He's kind of the enforcer on that Kendrick defense, but occasionally he moonlights on offense as a tight end. So Clemenhagen catches the 2-point conversion there. It is 24-0 Kendrick with 6:11 to play, first quarter of action.
Yep, and 3 for 3 on 2-point conversions thus far as well. So they're not only are they explosive, but they're also clinical and disciplined. Just a perfect start for Kendrick, and that's what we touched on in the pregame. Is Kendrick is going to want to come out and stomp this game out quickly and really stack the points on points early against Dietrich to really make it feel as though this is insurmountable. And Dietrich, now you're looking at 24 points in the first quarter. They really need to put a good drive together this drive. At least take some time off the clock, change the field position, make it so you can punt them and pin them back in their own territory. We got to see Perkins here get the ball moving.
Yeah, it's been, they had the one big run by Perkins, and otherwise it's been tough sledding here in the early going for Dietrich. We are inside the Kibbe Dome in Moscow, and as I'm looking right across the field, Garrison, I see the Murtaugh Red Devils sitting there taking in the action. They will be the second game of our doubleheader today. Logos and Murtaugh in a 1A D1 quarterfinal showdown. Kickoff is going to be at 4 o'clock Pacific time. So.
Yep, looking forward to that one as well. We'll, of course, be on the call once again. And, not a bad day, not a bad way to spend your Friday, just covering football all day.
I was going to say, weather-wise, it's actually a pretty nice day in Moscow. I wouldn't mind being outside.
It's true.
Kickoff is hauled in at the 15 by Perkins. Spin move up to the 36-yard line. So good field position to start here for Dietrich. 1st and 10 from their own 36 as Connor Perkins, a good return.
Yeah, fantastic return there from Perkins, and now they're going to have great field position here. Ball at the 41. Let's see what they can do here as far as getting into Tigers territory, get the chains moving. Just some simple plays here. Relax. It's not looking good right now, but we've got plenty of time ahead of us.
6:05 to play first quarter. There's still plenty of ball game left. Problem is they're down 24-0. On first down, it's a sweep play to Snedden off the right side, and Snedden strung out right at the line of scrimmage. Coming up to make the tackle, there were several Kendrick Tigers in the neighborhood, but the guy who finally delivered the final tackle was Hunter Taylor. He's a little slow to get up, but he's all right. And so 2nd and 10, no gain.
They're trying to do their best to get to the outside against this Kendrick defense, but they are just so fast that they may be better off running this up the gut. But the coaching staff over there knows what they're looking for here. They know the strengths of their team. They're going to try and set them up for success as best they can.
Yeah, they've tried running up the middle. They've tried getting to the edges. They've tried to drop back to pass. I mean, every time Kendrick has been there with an answer. They're going to go 3 wide, two to the right, 1 to the left. Tailback on the left hip of Perkins out of the gun here on 2nd and 10. Out route tipped. And was that caught off the carom? No, it hits the turf. They were trying to go to Emmett Zimmers on an out route on the near side. That ball was batted up into the air by Lane Clemenhagen and ultimately falls incomplete.
Now you're looking at a 3rd and 10, and again, they may have to rely on the legs of Perkins, see if they can't roll him out into open space, have some receivers floating downfield, so maybe that takes the eyes off of the secondary so that Perkins can book it downfield, try and get that first down.
And people ask why Kendrick is so good year in, year out. I mean, it starts with getting, numbers, right? Getting kids excited to play football, but they hit the weight room hard. I mean, certain players, Brock Boyer, he put on 30 pounds of muscle in the offseason, which, that's pretty impressive for a high school kid. 3rd and 10, Dietrich 4 wide. Perkins on the run, throwing at the 40-yard line for Chase Norman. Throws it a little too far in front on the out route, far sideline, incomplete, 4th down.
It looks like he maybe had some stuff developing downfield for maybe a deeper route that he could have kept his eye on. But when you're playing against a team like Kendrick, your clock is sped up a little further than normal. And so as a result, he probably thought, I better get rid of this now.
It's like the guy on the bomb squad that's tried to defuse and he's like, dee, dee. And
don't talk to me.
he snips a wire and dee, 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 and the clock really speeds up. Yep. Mm-hmm. 4th down, looks like Dietrich will punt again. Taylor stands at his own 25-yard line to receive. Line drive kick this time, takes a bounce. It's off the chest of Taylor, scoops it up off the 35 anyways, and now has room to run on the near sideline. The 45, the 40 of Dietrich, and tiptoes out of bounds at the Dietrich 37-yard line where it'll be 1st and 10 for Kendrick. So the punt goes off the chest of Taylor. Nobody close to him. He picks it up and still reels off about 30 yards on the return.
So unfortunate for Dietrich that they didn't have somebody within striking distance to pounce on that ball. That could have been a momentum changer right there. But as always, Taylor is able to scoop it up and turn it into something great. And now they're already in Dietrich territory again.
1st and 10 for the Tigers. 4:58 to play first quarter. Already leading 24-0. 2 receivers to the right. And now they'll send Fitzmaurice as a tight end on the left side as well. Kept looking to the left, has a man open. That's caught at the 30-yard line by Kimberline. He'll step out of bounds at the 23-yard line. Pitch and catch of 12 yards there and a first down. That was actually Sawyer Hewitt on the catch. And so Hewitt picks up another 12 and a first down.
And they're just keeping it incredibly simple. It's pitch and catch out there. It's a nice out route by Hewitt. He creates the space necessary, and then Kep lays it out there perfectly for him. Fresh set of downs.
1st and 10 for Kendrick. Ball at the Dietrich 23-yard line. Threatening to score again. They've had the ball twice today. And you're like, well, how'd they score 3 touchdowns? Well, we had the 70-yard punt return for a touchdown by Hunter Taylor. Kept back to pass, throwing out route low and incomplete at the 15-yard line on the near sideline. They were trying to go on the out route that time. And just the pass a little low, incomplete. Intended receiver on the play was Raleigh Rotsitzender.
A rare mistake there from Kep. The pass was a little low and outside, and as a result, his receiver had to dive for it and just couldn't come up with it. Would have been a tough catch.
So 2nd and 10 following the incomplete pass. 2 receivers to the right. They give to Fitzmaurice off the left side. Juke move to the 10 to the 5 and will be shoved out of bounds at the 1. So they had receivers to the right side. They gave to Fitzmaurice instead. Fitzmaurice is able to rip off on the run there. Let's see, the play started at the 24, so he gets 23 yards on that carry. And we have an injured Dietrich Blue Devil at the end of the play as well.
Yeah, excellent blocking off the edge, which is where the injury took place. Just a great block. That's all you can say. But while we have a moment, I also want to thank our sponsors from Dietrich. Shaw Land and Livestock has been family owned and operated since 1971. Owner Hubert Shaw and the rest of the gang at Shaw, L&L, and Mercantile proudly supports Dietrich High School athletics. They'd like to wish the Dietrich boys good luck today. And how about Extreme Excavation in Shoshone? Offers all kinds of services for public works and private construction needs, from demolition and grading to underground utilities and complex septic systems. Extreme Excavation has a trusted reputation for meeting and completing tough and unique projects. They offer free estimates within a 100-mile radius. Get yours by calling 208-544-ROCK or go to extremeexcavationinc.com. I like that ad. There were some good rhymes in there.
Yes. We've got all of our great local advertisers. We're not able to do these games without their support. So thank you to all of our sponsors for these great broadcasts. Injured Blue Devil was Jason Hollabaugh, the sophomore two-way lineman. He's able to get off the field, and we'll check on his status as the game goes along. But for the moment, 1st and 10 for Kendrick from the first and goal from the 1-yard line. Kep will line up in a shotgun. 2 receivers to the left side. Tight end is Wyatt Cook on the right side. Tailback on the left hip of Kep. They will give to Fitzmaurice straight up the middle into the end zone for a Kendrick touchdown.
Yep, keep it simple. That's the Kendrick offense right there. They go right up the gut to Fitzmaurice. Great push from that offensive front, creating the gap. Touchdown.
I mean, I love that they rewarded Fitzmaurice. He had the big 23-yard run to get him down to the 1, so you better give your guy the ball again once you're right there in striking distance. So
that's right. And in basketball, we always talk about rewarding the big man that runs the floor. Well, we've got to see the same here for the running back.
Kendrick will go for 2. It's a handoff up the middle for Xavier Carpenter. Carpenter, the 5'10 junior, is able to run in the 2-point conversion. And so Kendrick leading 32-0 with 4:40 to play in our first quarter of action.
Just an absolute blitzkrieg of a game thus far from Kendrick. They come right out, one play, 43-yard touchdown from Ty Kep to Sawyer Hewitt. Then we've got Hunter Taylor on that 70-yard touchdown punt return. Ty Kep, he's got to get himself in the action as well with a touchdown run. 41 total touchdowns on the season now. Wyatt Fitzmaurice, he gets his name in the scorebook as well. 1-yard touchdown run there. And again, the perfection of the 2-point conversions is something that's important as well. A lot of people don't realize that at the 8-man level, not a lot of kicking happens. And so 2-point conversions play a big part. Although when you're up 32-zip, maybe you're not thinking about that mattering.
Well, I mean, there will come a point where Kendrick will need those 2-point conversions, and that's the line that the Tigers have had to walk so often over this 3-year run of dominance is, okay, we know, we're up big. For example, they beat Dietrich in the regular season finale 112-6, and everyone eyes open. Oh, what is that? Poor sportsmanship. But for Kendrick, it's like, look, our starters haven't played in the second half of many games this year, and we're going into a bye week and then the playoffs. And so, yes, we played our starters, longer than normal because we have to make sure that they are staying fresh with reps.
Right. It's a lose-lose situation either way. If they pull their starters off and they're still winning, well, then you're just not taking us seriously, or they're trying not to score, they're kneeling down. Well, that's disrespectful too. So nothing really you can do in that position.
Kickoff to Connor Perkins, bobbled to the 15, retreats back to the 10 to get it. Now we'll head up the far side of the field, and he is brought down at the 15-yard line. Kendrick is so aggressive and quick in everything that they do. Great special teams tackle there by Orion Stewart, only a freshman. And that's the other thing for Kendrick. They've got enough depth that they can mix in some of these freshmen and sophomores on special teams and get them some varsity reps.
That's right. And just noticing, they have an instinct for the ball. There are a bunch of heat-seeking missiles out there flying down the field. No hesitancy about where they're going. They're going for the ball. They're trying to get it. And Dietrich back on their heels right now.
So 1st and 10 for the Devils, starting from their own 15-yard line with 4:33 to play, first quarter of action. Somebody's got to go get the tee, I think, or get something off the field. There we go.
Some rowdy fans here. No, I'm kidding.
Right. I don't know. Somebody's mouth guard or something. I don't know. Anyways, 1st and 10 for Dietrich. 4:33 to play first quarter, trailing 32-0. 4 wide here. Perkins alone out of the shotgun. 2 receivers either side. Perkins, quarterback draw, slips 1 tackle, makes a cut to the 25, and now breaks it to the outside and will be tackled at the 30-yard line. Penalty flag comes in late on the play. Clemenhagen is the guy who chases down Perkins. Otherwise, he might still be running. That was a great quarterback draw that time. We'll see what the penalty flag is here.
Yeah, fantastic run up the gut there from Perkins. And talking about instinct, he has an instinct for the open field, and he used that to his, unfortunately, that's a holding call, though, against Dietrich. Just a major gut punch right there after a great run from Perkins.
Man, that was a 17-yard run for Connor Perkins, and now instead of 1st and 10 at the Kendrick 32-yard line, you're looking at 1st and 8 or 2nd and 8. So I guess that's a positive. They were able to still get 2 yards of positive yardage out of the play, but
Perkins probably doesn't feel that way, though.
Right. So it remains first down. So 1st and 8 for Dietrich now from their own 22-yard line. 2 receivers stacked to either side. Perkins all alone. Kendrick rushes 2. Perkins over the middle. That's picked. Intercepted at the 20 to the 10 to the 5 and into the end zone for the pick 6 for Tanner Clemenhagen, the sophomore. So Tanner Clemenhagen picks off the pass right at the 20-yard line and takes it back for a pick 6.
A great instinct. He just settled into his zone. He knew the way that Perkins was setting up with his drop, that the ball was probably coming his way. Read him like a book. Pick 6, touchdown.
So a 20-yard pick 6 for Tanner Clemenhagen. He's the younger. Lane Clemenhagen is the senior and the guy that's out there playing, but they have been mixing Tanner in on defense this year. And younger bro says, hey, I made a pick 6. What have you done today?
Exactly. Bragging rights for me.
They'll line him to go for 2. This is Carpenter again up the middle, and Xavier Carpenter is in for the second time on the 2-point conversion. And like so many games on this 22-game winning streak for the Tigers, 40-0 lead, 4:02 to play still in the first quarter of action, Garrison.
Yeah, this is just I guess it's tough to say unbelievable because we've seen it from Kendrick so many times. But when you see it in person and you just see the dominance and the athleticism, the discipline, the instinct all come together, it's just beautiful to watch. And then obviously on Dietrich's end, this is tough. This is a proud program in their own right. A couple years ago, they won their first state title, and then it's been back-to-back Kendrick. So these are the last 2 state champions that we've talked about. So this is certainly a gut punch for those players over there. And as a coach, now's about the time where I would just look the guys in the eyes and say, hey, at the end of the day, I want to be able to walk off this field saying we gave our all and we battled to the end. And that's what we're going to have to see going forward from here on out.
Yeah, you mentioned that Dietrich won their first championship in school history back in 2020, and then Kendrick has won the last 2 here in 21 and 22. Kendrick also has titles from 1991, 2000, and 2001. So they're used to doing this back-to-back thing. They've never done 3 in a row, which they're aiming for this year. The other big storyline, of course, is that next year, Kendrick is moving up a level. And that's going to open up the field for everybody else. And Dietrich coach Brody Estelle told me before the game today, he said, we're excited about this game today. He said, but we're really excited about next year because we really think we can get back in there.
Go away.
Yeah, we really think we can get back in and start really competing. So line drive kick taken by Perkins at his own 15-yard line on the near sideline out to the 22-yard line, and that's it. On the special teams tackle, that time was Rally Roetzitsender. Try saying that 5 times
Rally
fast.
Roetzitsender. Well done. Now for Dietrich, for me, if they can just get some positive momentum on it sounds cliche, but really just take it one play at a time. That's all you can do at this point in time. Just focus on the fundamentals, no penalties, keep it clean there. Let's get the ball moving down the field, boys.
So 1st and 10 for Dietrich, 3:59 to play first quarter, trailing 40-0. Starting from their own 22-yard line, 2 receivers either side. Perkins out of the gun. Perkins, it's a designed quarterback keeper off the right side. A little swim move up to the 25 and up to the 27. Pick up a 5 there on first down for Perkins.
And hey, that's just exactly what I was talking about. Stay on schedule within these plays here. Pick up 4 or 5 yards each play, and you're in business. So let's see if we can start by picking up this first down, get the momentum going there. I also like the adjustment from Dietrich of spreading the play out so that Perkins can pick and choose as he does.
Yeah, Kendrick basically defending with 2 linemen and a linebacker, and then a spy, essentially, on Perkins. 4 wide again. Screen pass is complete to the right side. Pass is complete to the 30, the 35, the 40, and up to the 42-yard line. That is a pitch and catch of 15 yards and a first down. And making the reception that time was Rain Reese.
Yeah, good play there from Reese, able to catch and make a quick move up the field. And on top of that, no penalty on the play. That's been Dietrich's kryptonite at the moment, is themselves a little bit. They've shot themselves in the foot numerous times, which would just take away big plays that they had. So let's see if they can keep this momentum going.
So it is 1st and 10 for Dietrich following the 15-yard completion to Reese. Ball is at the Kendrick 43-yard line. 2 receivers stacked to the left side, tight end to the right. They will fake the handoff to Sneddon and keep with Perkins. And Perkins is going, man, I wish I would have given that off, because he gets tackled immediately by 3 or 4 Tigers. First guy in there was Caleb O'Brien, the junior.
Again, we talked about the sped up clock earlier. That leads to some mistakes here and there as far as decision making goes. You got to make your decision, you got to make it quickly, and then go with it. And sometimes that just ends up the wrong call.
2:10 to play, first quarter of action. 40-0 lead for Kendrick. 2nd and 11 for the Blue Devils from their own 42-yard line. And again, 2 receivers to the left side, tight end is to the right, running back on the right hip, now the left hip of Perkins. Perkins screen pass caught by Zimmers at the 40, and Zimmers gets right back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Mason Kimberline on the stop. They call him Moose Kimberline.
Well, he certainly blew that play up like a moose would. Yeah, fantastic. Again, just the rallying to the ball of this defense is a sight to behold. And if you're a receiver and you catch it, you know you've got to make a quick move and get moving, because Kendrick's coming.
Timeout for Dietrich. So that was the big question during the championship last year, was why do they call this kid Moose? So what we did, Paul Kingsbury was kind of our sideline reporter. He went into the stands and found Mason's dad and asked him, hey, why do they call your kid Moose? And did like a on the air interview. And he said he got his nickname freshman year because he was kind of tall and hadn't quite filled out his frame yet. So when he ran, he was kind of all arms and legs and kind of looked like a moose. And so that's how he got the nickname. I was talking to Coach Hobart today, and he said Moose finally filled out. He said he's not really a moose anymore. So he's just Mason now.
Just Mason. Okay. Well, yeah, not a bad job there from Mason either. So.
Yeah.
And hey, while we have a second, Strom Electric has been serving the Palouse and Camas Prairie region since 1938, providing electrical wiring for all sizes of projects and well pump installations. Strom Electric is licensed and insured in Washington and Idaho. When it's time to renovate your home, business, or to install a well water pump system, call them at 208-835-2331. Strom Electric, strong supporters of high school sports.
So timeout taken by Dietrich, their second of this opening half. 1:28 to play, first quarter. 40-0 lead for Kendrick, the 2-time defending 1A D2 champs. 3rd and 11 for Dietrich, a back on either side of Perkins and 2 tight ends. I guess you would call this max protect. They put Sneddon out as a receiver now to the right side. Perkins on 3rd and 11, stepping up and sacked. Back at the 31-yard line and coming through on the stop for Kendrick on the sack that time. Looked like Brock Boyer, the defensive end. So Boyer with the sack, 4th and long, and Dietrich will punt again.
Man, that's tough. You mentioned it was max protect, and Kendrick only brings 2, and those 2 blow the play up. That's when you know you're in. It's a tough play. The offensive line simply just has to be more physical at that point.
So Dietrich will punt again. Rain Reese to kick away. He's been busy today. Taylor will return. That ball may have been tipped as it came out. Line drive kick out of bounds to Ty Kep, who's standing on the sideline right at the 40-yard line. And now he will get back to work on offense. 1st and 10 for Kendrick from their own 40-yard line. First time today, I think, Garrison, they're starting on their own side of the 50.
I was just going to say how, these punts haven't been the longest that I've seen as a broadcaster, but kicking them out of bounds is not a bad deal when you're punting it to Hunter. So, like you said, first time that it's going to be Kendrick from their own territory.
I mean, the one punt that looked like a traditional punt you'd see, Taylor took it back 70 yards for a touchdown, so they've had to get creative. 1st and 10, slant route to the left side is caught by Hunter Taylor. We were just talking about him, makes a cut to the 30. It's a foot race down the far sideline, the 10, the 5, into the end zone for the touchdown. One play, one score. That is a 59-yard touchdown pass from Ty Kep to Hunter Taylor. It was a slant route, and then Taylor went from the middle to the far sideline and beat everybody.
Fine, you don't want to punt it to me? I'll just do this slant route here and take it the distance. I can't say it enough. Kendrick's offense is it's really quite simple. They run these slant plays, they run out routes, and it's all about Kep just delivering a good ball, and the athlete takes it the distance.
Ty Kep, I mean, this is just an easy day at the office. He's like, hey, I'm going to get 200 yards passing, and my receivers are the guys doing all the work. They'll line up and go for two. Kep looking right side. Now will step up and try to run, and he's in for the two-point conversion. So Kendrick continues to be perfect on conversions today and perfect pretty much in every aspect of the game. 48-0 lead for Kendrick. 31 seconds to play, first quarter of action.
This is a tough chain of events for Dietrich in that on their last drive, they had a couple good plays there to where they were putting some things together. They were building up some momentum. They had kept it clean as far as penalties are concerned, which has really been holding them back all game. And then Kendrick just makes some big plays and forces a stop. And then when you punt it to Kendrick, that's just a tough ask for any defense, really. And so that's the result there. It really got to feel like a gut punch, and now Dietrich's still searching for answers.
And Dietrich fans should take solace. I mean, Kendrick does this to everybody.
Yes.
It's not that Dietrich is bad. Dietrich's a good team.
Right.
But Kendrick is not just a great team, but they're an historically great team. I mean, look at some of these scores this year. They beat Council 66-14. I mean, that's a team that Dietrich just beat. They beat Oakley, the defending 1A D1 champions. They're the two-time defending champions at the next highest level. They beat them 44-22. 70-0 win over Lewis County. They beat Butte County 50-28. They beat Grace, which is playing in the 1A D1 semifinals, 52-6. I mean, they do it. And like I said, I think they could play 11-man football against. And in fact, Kendrick has had a problem getting teams to schedule them because they're so dominant in the non-conference. They've had some teams bail on them over the past couple of years where they've said in the offseason, yeah, we'll play you. And then as they get closer, they go, yeah, we're actually not. And Kendrick has said, we'll play 11-man football if that's what it's going to take.
Right. And it reminds me of Lapway's situation on the basketball side of things.
It is a line drive kick by Kendrick, taken by Perkins at his own 15-yard line. Hesitates for a moment and gets out to the 19, where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Blue Devils. On the tackle for Kendrick that time was Raleigh Roetzitsender again.
He's getting his name called quite a bit, and that just shows the instinct that he has to go towards the ball and be aggressive, just really like probably every player on that roster.
I mean, a kid named Raleigh, he sure can rally to the ball, right?
There you go. I like it. I like it.
1st and 10 for the Blue Devils, starting from their own 18-yard line. Still working right to left here with 25 seconds to play in our opening quarter of action. A 48-0 lead for Kendrick. I formation this time, actually split backs, and Perkins under center. They'll go dive straight up the middle. This is Wyatt Snedden, and Snedden will take it to the 20. Gain of 2, 2nd and 8. This could be our final play of the opening quarter of action here. We'll see what Dietrich wants to run another play, or if they're like, hey, we'll go to the second quarter.
The second quarter here.
Let's turn the page.
To Coach Estelle's credit, I mean, he's trying different things. He's tried spreading the offense out from side to side. He's tried jamming it in and saying, fine, we'll play power football. Nothing's worked as of yet.
So through one quarter of play, Kendrick 48, Dietrich nothing. Second quarter coming your way right after this break. You're listening to the 1A D2 State Football Quarterfinals on IdahoSports.com.
Do you show your Vandal pride? Dave sure does. He proudly dons the silver and gold when he's at work, mowing the yard, and especially on game day.
Hey, can we get 3 tacos?
I got this.
Where did you get that?
You don't have a Vandals debit card?
Don't worry, Dave. You can get your Vandal debit card by visiting p1fcu.org/govandals. Go Vandals!
Welcome back inside the Kibbie Dome in Moscow. Class 1A D2 quarterfinal battle as we start the second quarter of action. Kendrick leading Dietrich 48-0.
Hey, another quick ad read here. George F. Brocky & Sons is a fourth-generation family business that has been pricing quality peas, lentils, garbanzo beans, Austrian winter peas, and rapeseed for over 65 years in north-central Idaho and southeastern Washington. These products are cleaned and then shipped under the top-notch and sun-dried brands to nearly every continent on Earth. Our worldwide customers have come to expect quality products in every shipment. At George F. Brocky & Sons, we build relationships with our loyal customers to help maximize yields and ensure quality. Stop by our facility in Kendrick and say hello. And as always, go Tigers. And it's certainly been go Tigers thus far.
I wonder if it's the LSU spelling, the French, French Creole.
That's right.
Geaux. Go Tigers.
Yucks.
1st and 10 for Dietrich to start the second quarter of action. Perkins will take off and run right side, break a tackle across the 20, trying to reach. He breaks another tackle at the 25. Now the ball comes out. It is recovered by Hunter Taylor of Kendrick at the 30-yard line, and it will be Tigers football. Boy, Connor Perkins refused to go down on that quarterback run, but it ultimately turns into a fumble, and Taylor recovers at the 30-yard line.
I feel for Perkins on that one because you don't want to – he has the heart and he has the fight and he's staying on his feet. He broke numerous tackles. He was fighting for a first down and more, and then he gets rewarded with a fumble. It's been that kind of day thus far.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where, you applaud Perkins for refusing to go down, and at the same time, hey, that happens sometimes. 1st and 10 for Kendrick. Kept going for the home run. Ball up top to Kimberlane, incomplete. Reese on the coverage. Flag comes out for pass interference right around the 5-yard line on the near sideline. Rain Reese never turned around, Garrison. That was the problem.
Yeah, a great effort from Reese to stay in the vicinity of the wide receiver and the intended target. But ultimately, you have to, when the receiver turns and looks for the ball, that's when you have to be coached to turn and look for the ball as well. I'm sure that Coach Estelle has told him that numerous times. It's just that it's tough in the heat of the moment. Especially when you've seen these Kendrick receivers flying up and down the field.
Yep, so Kimberlane, the intended receiver there. Rain Reese called for the defensive pass interference. We'll move the ball to the 15-yard line where it'll be 1st down and 10. 11:40 to play here before halftime. Play action, slant, actually a little curl route is caught at the 5. A stutter step on the near sideline and in for the touchdown. Now Mason Kimberlane gets the score from 15 yards out. And it is 54-0 Kendrick. 11:34 to play before halftime.
I heard what sounded like a boo from the near side, but because you had told me that moose story, yeah. I knew, moose.
They're saying moose.
Mason Kimberlane punching it in. He didn't look like a moose there. Oh, he just did the moose antlers signal when he got to the sideline. So he's still holding to that moniker.
Yes, Moose Kimberlane Mason scores on the 15-yard touchdown pass. Now Kendrick for 2. A little out route. It is caught on the near side. Complete to Raleigh Roetzet-Sender. And so 56-0 Kendrick with 11:34 to play here before halftime.
This has essentially been the perfect start to this game for Kendrick. I don't think they've been called for a penalty as of yet. If they have, maybe one. They've had one pass play where Kep maybe threw a short ball that was an incompletion. Other than that, this has been essentially flawless football for Kendrick. And then on Dietrich's side, they just got some stuff they got to clean up. They've been, a lot of penalties, 2 turnovers already here in the first half. Just things that you can control that Kendrick that they've messed up on, and Kendrick has taken advantage of, as they often do. So tough in that sense. And then really quickly here, just want to thank another sponsor here, Lettenmeyer Grocery, operating as Phil's Family Foods on Main Street in Kendrick, a proud supporter of Kendrick Athletics, and wants to wish the Tigers good luck at state this year.
Brandon Bainey alongside Garrison Hardy here, and while a 2-man broadcast is great. We want to hear from you, the fans, too. This will help us pass the time a little bit. So whether you're cheering for Kendrick or you're cheering for Dietrich today, we want to hear your shout-outs. You can send me an email, brandon@IdahoSports.com, and we will get your shout-out on the air, whether you want to give a shout-out to Kendrick or Dietrich or maybe your favorite player. Tell us where you're watching from, too. This is something we do from time to time, Garrison. It's always fun to see where people are tuning in from. I'm sure a lot of people from Kendrick and Dietrich, but also, we've had international. Last year I was at the 1A state baseball tournament, and one of the Fabi brothers from Clearwater Valley was tuned in from Italy.
Oh, no way. See, we're international here at IdahoSports.com, folks.
That's right. Send those shout-outs to Brandon at IdahoSports.com, and we'll get your shout-out on the air. Perkins, kick return out to the 25-yard line. Dietrich now moving left to right in this second quarter of action. Penalty flag comes out at the Dietrich 35-yard line as well, so we'll sort this out and see what the call is. 11:30 to play here before halftime, and a 56-0 lead for Kendrick.
And based on where it was, yep, I thought it would be against Dietrich there. It looked like a block below the knee or maybe a chop block, which is when the defensive player is engaged with an offensive blocker already, and then a low block comes in below the knee. That's a dangerous play, which is why they penalize it. But ultimately, once again, Dietrich has to look themselves in the mirror on that one. They're penalizing themselves. They're already up against it here, and now they're starting at their own 12 because of that penalty.
So 1st and 10 for Dietrich from their own 12, working left to right, as we said, here in this second quarter of action. Shotgun, 2 wide to the right, 1 to the left. Perkins back to pass, feels the heat, now steps up, takes off to the left side, and will break away for a moment. Now reversing back to the opposite side, the right side, and he's brought down inside the 5, down at the 4-yard line. If he had slipped out of that, he may have had room to run along that near sideline, but great tackle, I believe, by Boyer to make the stop.
If he would have broken out of that last tackle and looked downfield, he had 2 receivers wide open with nobody near him. That would have been some Patty Mahomes type stuff. If he was able to deliver a strike downfield, that probably would have been a touchdown right there for Dietrich. But just that pressure from Kendrick, it's so hard to get away from.
We have our first shout out of the day here, Garrison. It's from our colleague Logan Green at IdahoSports.com.
Hey.
He says, I want to give a shout out to Garrison for doing so well despite having to work with Brandon.
Oh, well, I tell you what, it's so difficult. I'm glad somebody sees it.
7-yard loss on that sack of Perkins out of his own end zone. Will throw a quick hitter. That is caught by Chase Norman. He gets right back to the 4-yard line, so they lost a yard on that pass completion.
Yeah, Dietrich, again, Coach Estelle is trying to mix things up here, but Kendrick just rallies to the ball every single time. Dietrich really needs a push from up front to create better running lanes.
So 10:02 to play here before halftime. 56-0 lead for Kendrick, and Dietrich facing a 3rd and 17 now from their own 4-yard line. 2 receivers stacked to either side of the formation. Perkins alone. Back to pass out of the end zone, the Idaho logo. He completes over the middle on the far side and now to the 13-yard line, right back to where the original line of scrimmage was. It's a nice pitch and catch there to Norman, and Norman is able to pick up 9, but it's still 4th and 9.
Yeah, see, you see moments of great play there from Dietrich where they're able to do something simple like that, a nice pitch and catch, and makes people wonder, well, why can't you always do that? And I'm like, well, this is Kendrick, okay? They're going to close down a lot of those passing lanes, and actually back to receive the punt now is number 19, Sawyer Hewitt.
And he will stand at his own, actually at the Dietrich 32-yard line. High booming kick will take a Dietrich bounce at the 40, and it'll slip across the Vandals logo at midfield and will be down at the Kendrick 48-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Tigers. 8:50 to play before halftime. Kendrick leading 56-0. And again, we want to hear from you, the fans. Are you cheering for Dietrich? Are you cheering for Kendrick? Give a shout out to your favorite player or coach or even assistant coach. And tell us where you're watching from or listening from today. You can send your shout outs to Brandon at IdahoSports.com. We'll get them on the air for you.
Hey, a quick shout out to Donley Farms, a proud supporter of Dietrich Athletics and wants to wish the Dietrich boys good luck at state.
So 1st and 10 for Kendrick, starting from their own 48-yard line. Kept. Penalty flag comes out. Handoff left side to Sawyer Hewitt for the moment. Hewitt has taken it to the 40 and the 35-yard line. This may be coming back, though. And this leads me to believe illegal formation or a false start of some kind. Yeah, false start. Our side judge, Garrison, had the flag pulled out before the play started. He's like, I'm wondering if this guy's going to actually get set, and he didn't, and then he threw the flag. So
yeah, and again, a rare mistake thus far from Kendrick. I believe that's either their first penalty or their second on the day. Very clean football.
I think it's their second. I think they had one back in the first quarter, but who can remember? I mean, that was an hour ago.
That's right. It's blinding stuff here, just like their uniforms.
That's right. Here we are, 8:30 to play before halftime. 56-0 lead for the Tigers. Kendrick with those shiny black helmets and the orange uniforms. Play action. It is a curl route caught on the near side at the 50-yard line by Hunter Taylor. Stays in bounds, makes one man miss and a second broken tackle. Sprinting down the sideline and taking it into the end zone for the touchdown.
Oh, my goodness. As a former college receiver myself, that just warms my heart the way Taylor ran that route. He curled inside, he stemmed that route, and then he had a burst up the sideline, and he towed that sideline all the way down into the end zone for a touchdown. I got to tell you, Baney, I'm at a loss for words.
And then the way he broke a tackle high and then a tackle low, and then he sprinted down that near sideline. It is a 57-yard touchdown pass from Ty Kep to Mason to Hunter Taylor. Third time Taylor has found the end zone today on 3 touches.
70 yards, 59 yards, and then what did you just say?
57.
57.
Kep will go for 2. High throw delivered and caught by Roetzit-Sender on the slant route on the left side of the formation. 64-0. Tigers, 8:09 to play here before halftime.
And by the way, on that slant route there, that was a great catch from Roetzit-Sender in his own right. I mean, he had to sky for that, catch it, and bring it down. Everybody's getting in on the action in this one.
I mean, that was good. Well defended by Dietrich. They had double coverage and kept through it high where only his guy could catch it. So even on the 2-point conversions, up 64-0, Kendrick's level of execution is top-notch.
Yeah, Hunter Taylor already making a name for, well, he obviously has already made a name for himself, but for the IdahoSports.com player of the game potentially here, Ty Kep's obviously got to be in consideration. Sawyer Hewitt, he's already had some big plays as well. There's lots to choose from thus far.
Well, we got a moment, Garrison. We got any more sponsors to thank?
Ryan Robertson and the entire crew at Robertson Farms want to wish the Dietrich girls basketball team good luck at what's good at tonight's game. Go get them, Devils, from everyone at Robertson Farms. Well, hey, we'll finish that out. Good for them.
Yeah, I think and Dietrich is no stranger to getting to state in girls basketball. The Dietrich volleyball team just got to state as well last week, and here's the Dietrich football team also competing here in the quarterfinal round of the 1A D2 football postseason. We've got a shout out in here from Pam Lewis. Pam and Dave are watching in Parker, Arizona. She says, "Go Kendrick Tigers, you are all awesome. We are in Parker or else we would be there." Well, we're glad that you're tuned in and listening here on IdahoSports.com. Thanks, Pam and Dave. And again, we want your shout-outs. Brandon at IdahoSports.com. Give a shout-out to your favorite team, favorite player. Tell us where you're listening from today. Return by Perkins out to the 22-yard line, and a great downfield tackle by the Kendrick special teams. That was Leighton Brown Sherrill, the junior, coming up to make the stop.
Kendrick has changed the way they've been doing their kickoffs since the first quarter. Now here in the second quarter, they're now doing squib kicks right down the gut. And as a result, Perkins doesn't really get much of a chance to make a return. In fact, he almost muffed that one as he had to scoop it off the turf there. Great job from Kendrick, once again, changing up how their strategy evolves throughout the game.
8:06 to play before halftime. Dietrich just trying to get on the board, down 64-0. 4 wide, 2 to either side. Back to passes, Perkins. Slips away for a moment, but ultimately brought down back at the 10. And that will go down as a shoestring sack for Kendrick on that defensive line. And that's Wyatt Cook, the defensive end.
Yeah, Cook has had a phenomenal day thus far as creating pressure in the backfield, making Perkins uncomfortable all day. He's constantly having to shift the pocket, step up, and move, and we saw it just there.
So second down and about 19 now for Dietrich, starting from their own 11-yard line, 4 wide, 2 to either side. Perkins alone out of the gun. Quarterback sweep off the right side, spin move, gets out to the 9, and that is a loss of 2. It'll be 3rd down and long. 3rd down and about 20 here.
Good sportsmanship there from Kendrick as they were helping Connor get up off the turf after that hit. And Perkins just really didn't have anything downfield. So, and it could have been a quarterback design run as well, but even then he didn't have any lanes and whatnot. So, and now Dietrich wants to talk about it as they've got a timeout on the field.
Yeah, Dietrich will spend their 3rd and final timeout of this opening half. 6:55 to play before halftime, trailing 64-0.
And hey, Bearable Dentistry, I like that name. Bearable Dentistry in Moscow is your place to go for exceptional dental care on the Palouse. Bearable Dentistry has been serving the communities surrounding Moscow for over 40 years. They believe in making strong community ties and love supporting the Kendrick Tigers. Call for an appointment today at 208-882-3214. Go Tigers! Bearable Dentistry.
That is a clever name,
good.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's funny, as a kid, it's always a traumatic experience. And then as an adult, you know, I've kind of come around and I'm like, yeah, I don't mind going to the dentist. It's all good. My wife hates it still. She's like, oh, I hate going to the dentist.
Dentists, if there's any dentists out there listening right now, I'm curious, why do you talk to us when you're digging around in our mouth? I'm just curious. Fire away. Send your hate mail to Brandon.
Yeah, they do. They're in there, you know, doing their thing and talking, and you're just like, oh, yeah, that's a great point.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, that's true. Yes, we do want to hear your shout-outs, though. Whether you're a Kendrick fan, a Dietrich fan, give a shout-out to your favorite team, your favorite player, your favorite coach. You can send it to Brandon at IdahoSports.com and tell us where you're tuned in today as well.
I see the Logos Knights in to our left here. They have just arrived.
They're the second game today against Murtaugh. 3rd and long, and Perkins just gets out of the end zone, but is sacked back at the 1-yard line. Cook and O'Brien met up there. We'll give them each a half a sack on that play. It's 4th down and about 33 now, and Dietrich will be punting from their own end zone. The ball is literally at their own 1-yard line.
Gosh, I'm just cringing a little bit at Dietrich's receivers. They have got to get out and have some urgency here. You know you're playing against an aggressive Kendrick team that is putting pressure on Perkins in the backfield. Run your route with some urgency. Get out there and get open.
So a half a sack between Wyatt Cook and Caleb O'Brien. Forces the 4th down punt. Good one, considering it was from his own end zone. Takes a Kendrick bounce at the 35 and will finally be downed at the Dietrich 30-yard line. So 1st and 10 for the Tigers, starting from the 30-yard line of Dietrich with 6:02 to play here before halftime.
Such a tough position to punt from, on top of it being a rugby-styled punt, so he was already on the move. So, frankly, it was a good job getting the ball out, and, yep, it is at the 30-yard line, and Kendrick has great position, but better than just giving up a touchdown in the end zone.
So Ty Kep and company come back out. Wyatt Cook in there at tight end for the Tigers as well. 6:02 to play before halftime. Kendrick leading, Kendrick leading 64-0. Ball is at the Dietrich 30. Kendrick working right to left here in our second quarter of action. Handoff up the middle. Room to run inside the 10, inside the 5, and into the end zone for the touchdown for the first time today is Tanner Clemenhagen on offense. He did have that 20-yard pick six on defense as well. Another one-play drive for the Tigers. They are up 70-0 with 5:55 to play before halftime.
Well, Tanner's got 2 touchdowns now on his brother. So the older Clemenhagen, you got to get moving here. You know, let's see what he can do with the second half approaching.
That is a 30-yard touchdown run for Tanner Clemenhagen. He's scored on offense and defense now. And Kendrick will line up and go for 2 again. 5:55 to play before halftime. 70-0 lead. Throw to the end zone. It's a fade. It's too high. They tried to go to the near corner of the end zone. Tried the fade route to Wyatt Cook, the tight end. It's incomplete. First time today that Kendrick has failed on a 2-point conversion. And that word fail is, subjective as they're up 70-0 with 5:55 to play here before halftime.
I was just going to say that was the breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. Kendrick is human and fallible, and they didn't get that 2-point conversion there. So I'm sure Coach Hobart is looking for every opportunity at this point in time to run different plays, run different concepts that he might be looking for in future matchups here. It just so happens they're trying it out against Dietrich.
For sure. Well, we've got more shout-outs coming in here. You can send them to Brandon at IdahoSports.com. Ruth Ann from Glasgow, Montana, cheering for Carson and the Tigers, cheering for Carson Hogan, and she is Carson's aunt. So thank you. Thank you, Ruth Ann. Glasgow, I'll say go Scotties. That's the mascot of the high school there in Glasgow. My high school football coach is from Glasgow, Bob Connors. So I wonder if Ruth Ann knows Bob Connors. You can send me another email and let me know, Ruth Ann. So thanks for the shout out there. And also Dan Coyle, he's the Horseshoe Bend announcer. He says, I'm tuned in and listening to Kendrick smack around everyone. So that's, yes, Dan, thank you for your shout out as well. Kendrick has done this to everybody all year. Dietrich, just the latest team to see up close and personal what this Tigers team is all about. Kickoff return from the 15-yard line. Perkins out to the 24-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Blue Devils with 5:50 to play here before halftime.
Yeah, with 5:50 here, you know, if I'm Coach Estelle, I'm just saying, guys, let's get something positive going in here to the locker room. Let's march downfield. Let's put a drive together, and let's get some points on the board. That should be their main objective right here as we have 5:50 left.
1st and 10 for the Devils, and they actually get the spot up to their own 25-yard line. Our second game today, Logos and Murtaugh, 1A D1 quarterfinals. Both teams in the building, taking in the action here. Dietrich saying, can we borrow some of those guys? Handoff on a double. They fake the sweep to the right and then swept to the left. Kendrick snuffs it out, and Wyatt Sneddon is brought down back at the 20-yard line for a loss of 5. That was Lane Clemenhagen coming up to make the tackle.
Yeah, Carson Hogan was in on that as well, and we mentioned running to the ball, or rallying to the ball rather. This is just a cultural thing with Kendrick that if you're on the field, you're going to be given 100% of everything you've got, and great result there on that play.
So it is 2nd down and 15 for the Blue Devils now, following the 6-yard loss by Sneddon. Perkins rolling out right side. On the run, will take it and slip out of bounds on the near sideline at the 25-yard line. So the 5 yards they lost on 1st down, they get back to make it 3rd and 10 from Dietrich's own 25-yard line.
I think this is Dietrich's best bet. You know, get Connor Perkins out in space, allow him to get creative with his feet if he needs to, and then run receiving concepts over the top of that so he's got options downfield.
So 5:05 to play here before halftime, a 70-0 lead for Kendrick. Perkins out of a shotgun, 2 receivers right, single receiver left. Perkins rolling out left side, feeling the heat. Will get right back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Brock Boyer applying the pressure, and it is 4th and 10.
Yeah, just another great defensive set here from the Tigers, and we're going to likely see a punt here. Not a lot of time coming off the clock, unfortunately, for Dietrich's case here at the first half, still underway.
So 4:35 and counting before halftime, a 70-0 lead for Kendrick. Dietrich will probably be punting here on 4th down. I keep waiting for a fake at some point, but...
A tough ask in your own territory like this.
Yes, that is true. Return man stands at his own 40-yard line, and here is the rollout to the 30, and a good run and a good effort, but it's going to be just shy by Connor Perkins. He needed to get to the 40. He got to the 30. He needed to get to the 35. He got to the 32. So a 7-yard run by Connor Perkins on the fake punt, and you can just call me Nostradamus.
There you go. A great call there from Brandon Baney. But if Perkins should have kept his eyes downfield, he had Chase Norman out alone towards that Vandal logo. Would have been a 1st down and then some. Just a couple of instances throughout this game where Perkins may be trying to do too much.
Turnover on downs. Kendrick will start 1st and 10 from the Dietrich 32. Handoff left side. This is Clemenhagen, Tanner Clemenhagen inside the 20 down to the 17-yard line of Dietrich. And that is enough for the 1st down. That is a pickup of 15 yards.
And Tanner really getting his name called here this first half. He's got a couple of touchdowns to his name, defensive and offensive, and now he's getting the regular running back duties.
3:45 and rolling here before halftime. Receiver to either side, tight end to the right, tailback on the left hip of Kep. Handoff up the middle, and a great tackle by Brody Torgerson at the 15-yard line. They went up the middle with Xavier Carpenter, and he ran right into Brody Torgerson. A gain of only 2 on the carry.
There you go, Brody. Way to clog up that middle and really make an impact right there. And I bet he's been waiting for that opportunity all day. It's just tough to get a hand on these Tigers.
Brody Torgerson is an outstanding athlete. Plays guard, plays tight end, plays linebacker. He's really the heart and soul of that Dietrich defense. 3:04 to play before halftime. 2nd and 8 from the 15. They fake the sweep. They go with a counter off the left side. This is Xavier Carpenter dancing his way into the end zone on the near sideline. Carpenter joins in on the fun. His first score of the game. And it's 76-0. Tigers, 2:56 to play before halftime.
Yeah, tough break there for Torgerson, who had dropped back to linebacker. You had just mentioned his versatility there, and he just couldn't quite get that other paw on the running back there. And as a result, Kendrick adds 6 more to their total.
Again, the Tigers will go for 2. Receiver to either side. Kep will fake the handoff and keep it himself. And boy, Brody Torgerson had him wrapped up back at the 5, and Kep just muscles and says, all right, you're coming along for the ride. And Kep is able to stretch out and get the 2-point conversion despite Torgerson's best efforts.
Not bad from Kep there, showing some strength of his own. And by the way, folks, we now have 10 total touchdowns on the board here for Kendrick. It's just been that kind of day. They're going up and down this field, no problems at all.
Definitely. So 2:56 to play before halftime, 78-0 lead for Kendrick. A few more shout-outs rolling in here. Garrison, Haley Estelle says, shout out to the Dietrich coaches, her brother Garrett, and her cousin Brody. Go Blue Devils. Thanks, Haley. Also, Denise Silflo says, shout out to the Kendrick Tigers. We are all listening and cheering you on from school. From all the staff and students at Julietta Elementary School. Go Tigers.
Oh, cool deal. Well, they've got a decent amount to cheer about, let me tell you. And hey, how about Kendrick AG and Supply? It's a full-service mechanic shop and tire center. They can service autos, pickups, ATVs, and of course, AG equipment. They also carry a range of other products like tools, supplies, and fire pits. Be sure to follow them on Facebook for updates on new things in stock at Kendrick AG and Supply. That's Kendrick AG and Supply. Go Tigers.
And one more update here. Not that anybody will care except Ruth Ann and myself. Ruth Ann wrote in that shout out earlier from Glasgow, and I asked her if she knew Bob Connors. Yes, she does. She asked if I'm from Glasgow. No, Ruth Ann, I'm not. I'm from Stevensville, Montana, but Bob Connors was my football coach in high school, and just a great man, too. So, yeah, that's the connection. So thank you again, Ruth Ann. She's tuned in from Glasgow, watching, listening to Carson, her nephew, playing for Kendrick.
Well, there you go. Numerous Glasgows across the world. One of them's important, and then one of them's in Scotland.
Little international humor there from Garrison. High kick at the 20-yard line. Great return by Perkins out to the 50-yard line. A 30-yard kick return for Connor Perkins. And Dietrich with their best starting field position in some time here. 2:51 to play before halftime, trailing 78-0, but the drive's going to start right at the 50-yard line. Big opportunity here for the Devils.
100%. This is their chance right here to get on the board today, right before half. And then, if you could remind me, Brandon, who got the opening kick?
Kendrick did.
That was Kendrick. So, as a result, Dietrich, they have a chance here to not only score on this drive, but maybe the first drive of the second half as well. Put some things together. We'll see what happens.
So 1st and 10 for Dietrich. They'll go 4 wide, 2 receivers stacked to either side. Perkins out of the shotgun, now Sneddon in motion right to left. Looks like it's going to be a quarterback sweep off the left side. Perkins will pick up 2 and then kind of runs into the orange wall, as it were. First guy in there for Kendrick defensively that time.
All of them.
No, just turn around so I can see your number. I think it was Dallas Morgan. Let me double check. Yeah, it looked like actually Kimberlin, 84 in on the tackle.
The Moose.
Yeah. It's tough when you're trying to identify who it is and you need him to turn around so you can see the jersey number.
That's right. Work with us here.
Turn around. We're trying to pull off a high-end production here.
Exactly.
2nd and 8 for Dietrich from the 48-yard line of Kendrick. Perkins on the keeper, brought down back at the 50-yard line. It was a delayed draw play, and well read by Wyatt Cook, makes the tackle for loss, and it's 3rd and 10.
It's tough on those draw plays when you've got to allow for a delay to happen, but when you do that, the entire Kendrick defensive front is already in your backfield. Not much to delay at that point, and as a result, they're back at the original line of scrimmage.
1:40 to play here before halftime. 78-0 lead for Kendrick. Winner of this moves on to the semifinal round. They'll play the winner of Mullen, St. Regis, and Hagerman. That game will be tomorrow on IdahoSports.com. 1 o'clock kickoff from Mullen. I will be there, Garrison.
Oh, excellent.
I'm going to be your guy for the semifinal preview. I've seen both participants up close and personal. 3rd and 10. It is a screen pass off the right side. It is caught at the 50, a great block out to the 45 and the 40, and that is enough for the first down. They go to the screen on the near side. Good maneuvering there for Dietrich, and that is enough to move the chains.
I like the play call. It's those quick hitters going up against a quick defense. If you're able to get some blockers out there like Brody Torgerson, who, by the way, threw a great block that really sprung that play, you're able to make some things happen. So a good play call there.
So 1st and 10 for Dietrich. Ball at the Kendrick 40-yard line. 50 seconds to play before halftime. Dietrich doesn't have any timeouts remaining. So they're going to have to work quickly here. 4 wide. Perkins going deep down the middle for Torgerson. Over the shoulder catch is made at the 15-yard line between 3 defenders. Brody Torgerson. What a grab and a first down.
Using all of that 6'1" frame. He had to sky for that one. And then, like you said, with the presence of mind, knowing that there are 3 defenders around you, and just like that, they're all on the ball again.
Ball to 15 now. Out route is complete to the 10 and brought down immediately on the play. Zimmers made the reception for a gain of 8. We're down to 28 seconds to play now before halftime.
No timeouts left for Dietrich. They got to quickly get on this ball. 20 seconds to go.
And there's the spike from Perkins. And so the clock stops with 19 seconds to play, but it was a 10-yard screen pass complete on 3rd and 10 that kept the drive alive. Then they go down the middle to Torgerson on the home run ball, gain of 35 to the 15, and then an 8-yard out route to Zimmers to set up this 3rd and 3 with 19 seconds to play before the half. The ball is at the Kendrick 8-yard line.
Well, geez, after that catch from Torgerson, I'm sure Coach Estelle is going to be saying going forward, you know what? When in doubt, Torgerson. He's got to be down there somewhere.
That's right. And the first receiver that made that initial 10-yard grab to keep the drive alive was Jaden Wallace. So nice catch by Wallace as well. 3rd and 3. Snap is dropped by Perkins. Now rolls out left side in trouble and will throw it out of bounds on the far sideline outside the tackle box. So no grounding there, but man, he saw 2 defenders loaded for bear, and he goes, I'm just going to chest pass this out of bounds on that far sideline.
Yeah, smart decision, but there is a flag down here.
Now maybe they will say, yeah, it is intentional grounding. Okay, so it's not pro football. There's no rule about being outside the tackle box. So it is intentional grounding, which also comes with a loss of down. So it's going to be 4th down for Dietrich on this play. Now, they're going to go to the end zone regardless because there's only 13 seconds left before halftime.
Yeah, and like you said, that is a loss of down. So 4th down here. This is going to be the final play for Dietrich. And then, as crazy as it is to say this, they've, if possible, try to run all the time off of this clock because you don't want to leave any time for Kendrick on the other side.
That's right. So the ball is going to be back at the Kendrick 24-yard line. They can pick up a first down by getting to the 5, but there's only 13 seconds left. Perkins throws the out route. It is caught by Jaden Wallace, but tackled right at the 15-yard line. Turnover on downs, courtesy of a nice tackle by who else? Hunter Taylor. He's been all over the place today.
Yeah, I guess he's just that kind of athlete or something. I mean, he's already got the trifecta as far as touchdowns is concerned, and then he's showing his defensive acumen as well. 7 seconds left. Dude, are we going to see something else here?
I mean, hold your breath. I don't know. Here's a shout-out from Sherry Ledgerwood. Shout-out to my nephew, Kendrick Tigers quarterback Ty Kep, listening from Vancouver, Washington. Wish I was there watching. Good luck and go Tigers. Thanks, Sherry. We'll see if your nephew Kep does anything with it. He will kneel on it, and take us to halftime, Garrison. Kendrick making a statement here, not to Dietrich, but the rest of the state.
Oh, absolutely. This is what we talked about in the pregame. If you're Kendrick, come out and make a statement, put your foot on your opponent immediately, and that's exactly what they did throughout that first half.
You come from the king, and that crown you best not miss.
That's right. Back to back. He's going for that three-peat.
And so at halftime, Kendrick in front of Dietrich, 78-0 in this 1A D2 quarterfinal matchup. We will come back with the Launch Idaho halftime show right after this break. You're listening to the 2022 1A D2 quarterfinal round on IdahoSports.com.
As Idahoans, we're not afraid to take risks.
All the way, all the way. Go. All the way down, all the way down.
Driving under the influence is not a risk we're willing to take. Be around to do more of what you love.
This is not what I asked for.
Once again, we have contributed to your ideal college savings program. Love, Grandma and Grandpa.
Give the gift of college savings this holiday season with Ideal, Idaho's 529 college savings program. Eventually, they'll appreciate it.
I love it. Thank you.
College costs money.
Dear Exit Strategy, all your pieces are in place. Thanks for being there when I need you most. Always Toyota SUVs. Toyota. Let's go places.
I am Kevin, and I'm from Idaho Falls. It's important for the disabled to be vaccinated because of COVID. I chose to be vaccinated because I didn't want to be sick or in the hospital. Getting the vaccination, my experience was painless and worth it. It was a very wise choice.
Former regional champ and back in training.
That's commitment.
Ow.
Oh, tough start. This is not as easy as it used to be, folks.
And she's off, obviously pushing through some pain.
Every muscle is begging her to stop. How's she doing this?
I'm not even sure she knows.
Look at her go. And stop.
Come on.
And go again.
It's literally the home stretch. Whoa.
She made it. Feel the elation.
What fuels that kind of fire?
Idaho Sports Nation, Ideal, Idaho's education savings program, is a proud partner of IdahoSports.com and an ideal way to save for college. Did you know it only takes $25 to start an Ideal 529 savings account and you get tax benefits? There is no better time than today to start saving for college expenses for you or for a loved one. Information and a full disclosure statement, including risks, terms, and conditions, can be found online. Please read carefully before investing. idsaves.org. Go save for college and go Idaho student athletes.
We're Valley-wide cooperative. For 100 years, we've been your first choice for residential and commercial propane, fuels, oils, and lubricants. We service HVAC, install water heaters, propane tanks, and accessories. And yes, we'll even deliver right where you need it. Because for us, serving is more than a job, it's a way of life. We are proud to employ your neighbors and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're Valley-wide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We're here for you.
Vaping sucks you in quick, and the more you vape,
the harder it is to quit. Not to mention all the chemicals and health problems. That's why thousands of teens are joining My Life, My Quit. Visit mylifemyquit.com or text Start My Quit to 36072.
Dear Detour, you asked us to measure up. So yeah, we did. When life slings you mud, sling it right back. Stay strong. Toyota Trucks.
Toyota. Let's go places.
Folks, I've got good news and bad news. Bad news? You just took that selfie with Poison Ivy. Good news, someone gets to use their coverage from Your Health Idaho. Quality coverage for as low as $0 a month.
We do things differently in Idaho. Sometimes we go east to find west, where muddy trails meet huckleberry smiles. Stars shine electric, and the wind smells like destiny. Sure, our traffic jams are strange, and not all our steaks are ribeyes. But wherever we go, our eyes never leave the road. Belts strapped and dreams packed, no distractions, no phones, focused. From here to there, it's who we are.
It is halftime here inside the Kibbe Dome in Moscow, and welcome into the Idaho Launch Halftime Show. Did you know current Idaho high school seniors are eligible for up to $8,000 in grant money? Apply today. Idaho Launch, support in every direction. Brandon Bainey back here with Garrison Hardy, and well, we knew coming in Kendrick was the favorite against Dietrich here, but man, 78-0 at halftime. Really crystallizes how good, how dominant, how historically dominant this Kendrick program is.
Yeah, 10 total touchdowns throughout the first half. The first half, you'd be happy to have 10 touchdowns through a couple of games, but Kendrick comes out and does that in one half. And as you mentioned, before, Kendrick has been doing this for the last couple of years. I mean, looking back at as far as last year on their schedule, they beat Genesee 104-0. They beat Lewis County 80-0, 66-0. And then how about this year? They had a 112-6 win over Deary that was Friday, October 20th. They've done this to a lot of people throughout this 22-game win streak. That is Kendrick. And this is a cultural thing as far as their program is concerned. Coach Hobart has done a great job of building discipline, building instinct, building a desire to play this game. And these are the results here on the field.
Well, let's take a look at the first half stats, as it were. Let's start with Dietrich. Dietrich had 13 yards rushing in that opening half of action, 80 yards passing. It's a total of 93 yards in total offense. On the flip side, Kendrick, 132 yards on the ground, 186 through the air, 318 yards of total offense, and pretty good balance.
Yeah, but great balance, and then we didn't even get a chance to bring up their special teams. I mean, their special teams have putting up points in their own right. Their defense is putting up points as well off of that pick six, and all in all, just a very well balanced game for Kendrick. You can't focus too much on the pass because then they'll get you on the ground, and if you focus on the ground, they'll beat you over the top.
That's right. So, yeah, you mentioned the special teams accolades. Hunter Taylor returned a punt, 70 yards for a touchdown in that first quarter of action. And then defensively, Tanner Clemenhagen with a 20-yard pick six. Hunter Taylor's got a fumble recovery as well. So 2 takeaways for that Kendrick defense. And then offensively, here are the individual stat totals. At halftime, Garrison, Ty Kep, 5 of 6 passing, 186 yards, 4 touchdowns. So he has completed 5 passes. 4 of them have ended with a Kendrick receiver in the end zone.
I just wish he was more efficient, Just 5 of 6. That is unbelievable. That's gonna do well for his yards per catch average, that's for sure.
And like we joked, Kep is throwing these short passes, and then his receivers are doing all the work. We'll get to the receiving totals here in just a second. In the first half, the leading rusher, Garrison, is actually the sophomore Tanner Clemenhagen. 2 carries for 45 yards and a touchdown. He got 35 of those on one play that ended with him in the end zone. So after Clemenhagen, that's Tanner Clemenhagen's 45 yards and a touchdown, it is Sawyer Hewitt, 2 carries for 39 yards and a score. We've got Wyatt Fitzmaurice, 2 carries for 24 yards and a touchdown. Xavier Carpenter, 2 carries for 17 yards and a touchdown. And Ty Kep, 1 carry for 7 yards and a touchdown. So Kendrick has run the ball 9 times, and 5 of those 9 rushing plays have resulted in scores.
Yeah, big shout out to the offensive line and the blockers on Kendrick's side. You know, we were talking about their aggression and their instinct, their controlled aggression, we should say, because they've only had 2 penalties in the first half. But the offensive line, a lot of the times I was watching them, they would explode off of their line and get to the second level of that Dietrich defense. And as a result, the holes in the lanes just opened up all over the place, and that's why they were able to score 5 times in 9 attempts.
And then the receiving totals here, Garrison. Hunter Taylor, 2 catches, 116 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Again, decent efficiency there. Decent yards after the catch. Just what an athlete.
Sawyer Hewitt, 2 catches for 55 yards and a touchdown. And Mason Kimberline, 1 catch for 15 yards and a score. So, I mean, Kendrick is they've only run, 6 passes and 9 rushes. They've run 15 plays from scrimmage, and 8 of those 15 plays have resulted in an offensive touchdown.
Yeah, and again, that's because they've scored on defense, they've scored on special teams, and when they do have the ball, they score really quickly. It's hard for them not to score when they have this caliber of athlete, this much hard work that has gone into the offseason, whether it be in the weight room, whether it be watching film. This Kendrick team does it, and these are the fruits of their labor.
This is the Idaho Launch Halftime Show. Education and training funds flexible enough to let students find their career their way. So, did you know Idaho high school seniors graduating next spring are eligible for up to $8,000 in grant money for career training and education through Idaho Launch? Funds can be used to cover the cost of apprenticeships, job training, community college, and university programs that lead to in-demand careers. Idaho Launch is a new grant program that provides students a one-time opportunity to have 80% of the tuition and fees at an eligible institution covered, up to a maximum amount of $8,000. With approximately $70 million available for Idaho Launch funding, it's possible for this program to offer between 9,000 and 10,000 awards per year. That's helping a lot of kids across the state. Applications opened on October 3rd. Head to nextsteps.idaho.gov/launch to learn more and apply today. There are some criteria that have to be met. To qualify, students must be a graduate of 2024 from an Idaho high school, homeschool, or GED. They have to be an Idaho resident. They have to be enrolled in or have applied to an eligible Idaho institution. They have to begin enrollment by the fall semester after graduation, and they have to complete a career pathway plan at nextsteps.idaho.gov. Funds are limited, so be sure to apply before the November 30th priority deadline. You got 27 days left, but you students are on top of the ball. Don't procrastinate. Launch into that next phase of your educational career. Nextsteps.idaho.gov/launch. This is a really cool program, Garrison. I'm sure when you went to high school, we're pretty close to the same age, stuff like this wasn't available.
No, not at all. You had a good old FAFSA that you had to go fill out and see what you could get on that end. And so to be able to have grants, especially, you want to take advantage of those wherever you can. That's going to help so much, especially when we see some of the tuition prices these days. So,
yep. And then I also, at my high school, it was basically our guidance counselor. It was like the mama, pushing the baby bird out of the nest. Here you go, figure it out on your own. There was not much guidance going on in that guidance counselor's office. So what a cool deal for Launch Idaho for sure. 78-0 lead for Kendrick over the Dietrich Blue Devils as we are close to starting our second half of action here. If we look at what's going on, statewide, it is quarterfinal weekend here on IdahoSports.com and Idaho, of course. The 1A D2 bracket, Garrison, at 3:30 Mountain Time. So what time? Let's see, it's 3:30 right now. What time is it?
It is 2:35 here.
So yeah, this game just kicked off. Camas County is hosting Garden Valley on the bottom half of the bracket. And then also we have Mullins St. Regis hosting Hagerman tomorrow at 1 o'clock in our third quarterfinal matchup. And then the fourth quarterfinal at the 1A D2 level, will feature, it'll feature Tri-Valley and Rockland, and that game will also kick off Saturday at 1 o'clock on IdahoSports.com. So we'll know half the field tonight and the other half of the field tomorrow.
Right, and it's all happening on IdahoSports.com, folks, and stay tuned as more updates are posted by, of course, Brandon. He's on top of that. He's on top of that site and keeping things up to date, and we've got all the action here for you.
Yeah, we had a couple of playoff games last night inside Holt Arena in Pocatello that really got the postseason started. So quarterfinal weekend off and running. We had a 2A game that North Fremont won 54-6 over Bear Lake. And then we had a 3A contest that was won by Teton over Buell 41-28. And Kendrick says, oh, those are pretty impressive margins of victory, but watch this.
Yeah. Hold my drink.
Yeah.
And boy, oh boy, just as we talked about this in the first half, and Dietrich, they were up against it as far as they were realistic about it. Coach Estelle especially, they knew what they were facing. And coming out of the second half, if I'm Coach Estelle over on Dietrich's side, I'm telling my guys, hey, we've still got a half of football left. Kendrick put 78 up in the first half. Why can't we get no? I'm at least telling them, guys, let's go out and leave it all out on the field heading into next year, especially for you seniors. This might be the last time you ever put on a set of pads. Let's go out there and leave it all out there, so at the end of the day, we can look ourselves in the mirror and say, I put everything I had out on that field, and I can live with this. I can live with the result.
Yeah, and that's the thing for Dietrich. They are a fairly young team. There are only 3 seniors on this year's squad: Strider Shaw, Emmett Zimmers, and Rain Reese. Otherwise, everybody's coming back next year.
Right.
Kendrick won't be standing in the way. They're not a 1A D2 program anymore. Next year, they're moving up a level. And so for Coach Brody Estelle, hey, we set the tone for the offseason now in this second half. How do you want to finish? Because we see what the best is, and that's what we want to aspire to be. So let's go out there and do our best against the best and set the tone.
Absolutely. And at the end of the day, this is an excellent opportunity for Coach Estelle, his whole coaching staff in general, to really try some things out against the best of the best competition out in, honestly, one of the best teams in the state, and to really try some new concepts, to see what this younger core is made of as we head into the next season. So an excellent opportunity here, and you want to take advantage of it because, like you said, this is the last time they're running into Kendrick, unless they do some non-conference stuff. But I wouldn't blame them if they were like, happy trails to you.
You're right. Yeah, see you later. But on the converse side of that, they're losing Kendrick, but Carey is coming back down. So, you're just trading one juggernaut for another.
Perfect.
And Dietrich, of course, beat Carey for that 2020 state championship. So, there's going to be a lot of good 8-man football still across the landscape next year, including, at the 1A D1 level. Garrison, our next game here on IdahoSports.com from the Kibbe Dome, Murtaugh and Logos in a quarterfinal battle.
Yeah, I've had the pleasure of covering Logos numerous times this year. One of those with you, Brandon, in the stands at Logos, and they're an incredibly fun offense, and it's going to be a tale of 2 offenses. In that Murtaugh, they're going to be a run-heavy team, and they're going to try to use lots of clock, really control possession. Where on Logos' side, they have that swinging gate offense that really spreads the ball across the field to their numerous athletes. And I think really the biggest difference this year from Logos going 3-6 the year prior to now they're undefeated and a 1 seed in the playoffs was their toughness up front. You talked about Kendrick hitting the weight room. Logos hit the weight room big time in the offseason. I was sometimes go in at 5 a.m. for basketball practices, and the Logos football team was there in the offseason working out and getting in shape for this upcoming season. And that they also have the numbers in their program. They've got a big roster, similar to what Kendrick's dealing with here. So that's going to come in handy for Logos. Going to be an interesting battle for sure as we head into that next game.
So we are just about ready for our third quarter of action here from the Kibbe Dome. Thanks for tuning in to the Launch Idaho halftime show. Did you know current Idaho high school seniors are eligible for up to $8,000 in grant money? Apply today. Idaho Launch, support in every direction. Well, Kendrick will be kicking off in the direction of left to right as you are listening here. Third quarter just about ready to begin from the Kibbe Dome in Moscow. A 78-0 lead for the Tigers, the two-time defending 1A D2 state champs.
Love this song. You can hear it. It's Hey Now You're an All-Star, fans.
Smash Mouth. And we want to hear from you, the fans. Give a shout out to your favorite team, your favorite player, your favorite coach, and tell us where you're listening from. Send a shout out to Brandon at IdahoSports.com. Line drive kick, bobbled for a moment by Perkins at his own 15-yard line, and he is brought down at the 12. It is Rally Roetzesender again in on the tackle for the Tigers, and Dietrich will be starting 1st and 10 deep in their own territory.
It's just more of the same for Dietrich, unfortunately. That's a tough kick to handle, so it's a lot being asked of Connor Perkins as he has to scoop it up off the turf, then get a quick snapshot of where he should maybe take this ball. And he unfortunately didn't have a lot of green in front of him there. And so they're starting out with a lot of green to gain to get into the end zone.
And it does look like we've got a running clock here in this second half of action, Garrison, 11:15 and counting. 1st and 10, they'll start with Wyatt Sneddon off the right side. And Sneddon will squeeze out a yard, and it'll be 2nd down and 9.
Yeah, we went through those halftime stats where they only had 13 yards of rushing, if I remember correctly. So they've got another one there. But this this Kendrick front, just so difficult to deal with, so fast that it's almost hard to get a block. Sometimes it feels like you're blocking air, and they swarm to the football.
It's almost like Kendrick knows where the ball is going before the snap. I mean, they're not, but they're not Michigan, but
goodness.
That scandal at the big-time college football level. 2nd and 9. Perkins slips out of the tackle, takes off to the 20, spin move around that far side, and out to the 22-yard line. Connor Perkins, some nifty footwork, will bring up 3rd down and about 4.
And this is more what we're talking about when we say staying on schedule. Dietrich able to carve out some decent yardage on 1st and 2nd down, and as a result, we're looking at 3rd and short here, which is a Connor Perkins specialty if he's able to get out into space.
Yeah, 6-yard run there for Perkins. Sets up 3rd and 3 for Dietrich from their own 22-yard line, working right to left. We're down to 9:50 to play in the 3rd. A 78-0 lead for Kendrick. Under center is Perkins, split backs behind him. Quarterback sneak right up the middle. Perkins has the 1st down. How about that? QB sneak on 3rd down and 3, and he gets 4.
That was a tricky play there. They had both running backs in the backfield, so you'd almost expect something to include them on that play. But no, let's just do it yourself, Perkins. Just take that right up the middle, and we've got the fresh set of downs.
Yeah, that'll do. First down by Dietrich in this second half. It is 1st and 10 for the Devils from their own 26-yard line. Receiver to the right, 2 receivers stacked to the left. Perkins out of the shotgun, tailback on his right hip. Kendrick will rush 2. Perkins throws, out route, batted down by Tanner Clemenhagen, incomplete. 2nd and 10.
Clemenhagen's been involved on defense numerous times. I mean, he had that pick 6 in the first half, and now he gets a paw on this one. Great read in that zone that he was playing, and a great job breaking up the play.
Again, we talked about Lane Clemenhagen is kind of known as the enforcer of that Kendrick defense. He is a solid tackling machine. You know, last year, Kendrick played a couple of Washington schools, and a couple of specific tackles by Clemenhagen caused the schools to go, we're done. They had that problem last year where a lot of opponents were like calling the game in the second quarter for player safety and stuff, and now it's younger Clemenhagen making plays all over the place. 2nd and 10. Perkins, quarterback keeper off the right side, gets to the edge, the 35-yard line, a nifty scramble of 8 yards to make it 2nd and short.
I like it. Perkins, obviously the best athlete on the field for Dietrich, and when you're snapping it to him every single play, you may as well throw in some design runs. And they had a nice convoy of blockers in front of him as well, which resulted in that decent gain. And now we're looking at another 3rd and short. Time for a sneak.
That's right. 3rd and 1 for Dietrich following the 9-yard scramble by Perkins to the far side of the field. Ball is at Dietrich's 35-yard line. They've got to get to the 36. Same formation as the last QB sneak. Perkins under center, split backs behind him. 2 tight ends to either side as well. Everybody in tight. This time it's a QB sneak off the right side, and Perkins gets just enough. He ran forward and then got pushed backwards, but forward progress will give it to him. And a great tackle again by Clemenhagen.
Yeah, he took a big hit off the edge there, and Clemenhagen delivered on that one. But, hey, the QB sneaks seem to be working. Why not just do it every play? No, I'm kidding. No.
Perkins is going, I don't know if I'm down for that.
I guess that's why I'm up here.
Right. Need an ice bath after that.
Right.
1st and 10 for Dietrich. Fresh set of downs from their own 37. 6:50 and rolling here in the third. 78-0 lead for Kendrick. Perkins in trouble. Sacked back at the 30-yard line. Coming up to make the sack for Kendrick was Wyatt Cook. He's got 2.5 sacks in this game.
Yeah, that defensive front from Kendrick, they're only rushing 2, and they're still getting pressure back there. The offensive line, I know they're younger, they're maybe a little more inexperienced than some of the other offensive lines here in the playoffs, but they have got to communicate, hand off the blocks better, because you can't be letting 2 guys beat you.
2nd and 15. 6:15 and counting here in the third quarter of action. 2 receivers to the left, single receiver to the right, tailback on the right hip of Perkins as well. Perkins going over the middle, in and out of the hands of Torgerson at the 40-yard line, incomplete, 3rd and 15.
That would have been a tougher catch. He had to turn around for that ball. It was a little behind him, but the famous rule for receivers is if you touch it, you catch it. Tough break there for Torgerson, and a good route overall. He's got the build to be able to take those hits that were probably coming his way.
And that's life as a receiver, right? Torgerson made that incredible catch in the first half over the shoulder between 2 defenders, and sometimes those ones over the middle are tough. So 3rd and 15 following the incomplete pass. 2 receivers to the left, single receiver to the right. Tailback on the right hip of Perkins out of the gun. Pump fakes on the short screen. Doesn't have time for the second route because he's sacked back at the 20-yard line. I liked the play development. He just didn't have enough time. And coming through on the sack that time for the Tigers was Brock Boyer.
Yeah, Brock Boyer at 6'2", 220. Wyatt Cook, 6'3", 209. Those two have combined for excellent pressure all day. And you have to do that. You can't let Perkins get comfortable and sit back there in the pocket. Like you mentioned, a good play developing. It looked like he had a nice out-and-go concept going, but those routes take time, and when you don't have it, play's over.
Boyer now with his 2nd sack of the game for Kendrick. 4th and about 22 here. Dietrich, it looks like, is going to punt. Taylor stands at his own 35-yard line, ready to receive. Good high kick, angled towards the far sideline. Will take a Kendrick bounce at the 45 and will finally be downed by Dietrich at their own 44-yard line, where it will be 1st and 10 for the Tigers with 4:15 and counting in this third quarter of action. A 78-0 lead for Kendrick. I think we are starting to see the backups here.
That's right. And, credit to Dietrich on that offensive possession there. They're still going against a lot of starters on that defensive front. They were able to move the ball down the field a little bit here, get some nice things done.
So we'll introduce you to the new faces as they develop. 1st and 10, handoff off the right side. This is a big run for Orion Stewart, the freshman, and Stewart will take it up to the 35-yard line for a gain of 10 and a 1st down. Well, a gain of 9, they'll say, to make it 2nd and 1.
And they've got Maddox Kirkland in at quarterback now, the backup quarterback, and a great push by that offensive front once again, allowing for a nice lane and a good run.
So 2nd and 1 following the 9-yard run by Orion Stewart. They've now got Stewart in motion. 3 receivers to the right side. Kirkland back to pass, throws the screen. It's caught by Tanner Clemenhagen, the 30, and lassoed down at the 26-yard line of the Blue Devils. That's Torgerson and Reese comboing on the stop. That is a pitch and catch of 12 yards, though, and a 1st down.
Yeah, again, the way this offense is designed to where it's more of a pitch and catch, quick hit plays that allows for even a backup quarterback, maybe not as much experience, to be able to step in and say, I can throw these concepts here.
Oh, I think Maddox Kirkland's got plenty of time this year in second
That's
halves
true.
of games,
That's
right?
true.
He's no spring chicken. Timeout taken by Dietrich here with 2:45 to play in the third, and Kendrick up 78-0. Let's thank some of our great sponsors here, Garrison.
Shaw Land and Livestock has been family owned and operated since 1971. Owner Hubert Shaw and the rest of the gang at Shaw L&L and our Mercantile proudly supports Dietrich High School athletics. They'd like to wish the Dietrich boys good luck today. And then, are you looking for your next home, farm, ranch, investment, or commercial property? If so, be sure to look no further than Ken and Valerie Hobart with Windermere Real Estate for help. With over 22 years of experience in north central Idaho, they are licensed in both Washington and Idaho to help make your dreams a reality wherever they may be. Two great agents to serve you with one mission, to help you with all your real estate needs. The choice is easy when it comes to real estate in the LC Valley and surrounding areas. Ken and Valerie Hobart with Windermere Real Estate. The Hobarts are proud to support Kendrick Athletics and want to wish the Tigers good luck today.
One final shout out here in our second half of action. 2:45 to play in the third from Will Henneke, Mr. Idaho 8-man himself. Having a little fun here. I said, give your favorite player a shout out. He said, my favorite player is my nephew Drew, defensive tackle and offensive guard for the St. Aloysius Stags junior high team in Spokane. So thanks, Will. We try to keep it to the teams that are involved here. Kirkland, deep shot on second down, over the shoulder interception made by Perkins at the 5-yard line. So a turnover forced by the Dietrich defense as Perkins makes a nice, he played wide receiver last year, showed off those receiver skills, made the over-the-shoulder interception at the 5-yard line. Miscommunication there between Kirkland and the receiver.
Yeah, definitely. The route didn't develop quite as cleanly as you might have hoped. And then Kirkland, maybe a bad decision throwing it into double coverage. And right now he's talking to Coach Hobart on the sideline, getting some valuable coaching there, valuable lesson. But a great play for Perkins as well. There's something different about being a quarterback and reading a fellow quarterback. He made a great jump on that ball there.
So Dietrich after the turnover, 1st and 10 from their own 5. They'll start out of the end zone. Quarterback draw up the middle, out to the 6 and maybe the 7. And that was Wyatt Sneddon, the tailback in there taking the direct snap. So Sneddon is able to pick up 2. And it'll be 2nd and 8 here for Dietrich with 1:35 to play in the third and a 78-0 lead for Kendrick.
Good play there off the edge from Caleb O'Brien, the junior defensive lineman, who's now rotated in. And good read and a good jump to the ball play. And he was able to limit the damage that was done.
And O'Brien's got half a sack today as well for that Kendrick defense. Perkins out of the gun, hands off to Sneddon again. Sneddon looking for the edge. Gets cut down at the 7. So right back to the line of scrimmage. Strung out there, and a couple of Kendrick defenders in the neighborhood. O'Brien again, also Travis Hicks, 6'1", 171, and a sophomore. So what'll happen is, Hicks is 6'1", 171. When he shows up for his junior year, he'll be like 6'1", like 190. Like he'll have put on 20 pounds of muscle. That's why Kendrick is so good.
Heck, he might even be 6'5", too, put on some height as well. No,
that's only in basketball season when guys magically grow. A guy that's 5'10" in football all of a sudden is 6'2" in basketball.
Right. It's the shoes, I'm sure.
So no gain on that run by Sneddon. Makes it 3rd and 8. Back to pass from his own end zone is Perkins taking a deep shot down the far sideline. Double coverage. It's picked at the 30-yard line. Coming up with the interception for Kendrick is Cade Silflo.
Cade Silflo, what a play there. Excellent read and excellent coverage as well. They bracketed that receiver all the way down the field, so there really wasn't much chance for him to go up and get the ball, and the defense capitalized on it, and now they're set up with great field position once again.
Tim Silflo is the boys basketball coach at Kendrick High School for the varsity. I asked Coach Zane Hobart, I said, are they related? Coach Silflo and Cade Silflo, and he said, I think they're cousins. He said there's a ton of Silflos all over the prairie up here in the Kendrick area. So interception by Cade Silflo gives the ball back to Kendrick, and that is the end of the third quarter of action. With the running clock, 78-0 lead for Kendrick as we get ready to start the fourth.
And while we're at it, we want to thank George F. Brocky & Sons. It's a fourth-generation family business that has been pricing quality peas, lentils, garbanzo beans, Austrian winter peas, and rapeseed for over 65 years to north central Idaho and southeastern Washington. These products are cleaned and then shipped under the top-notch and sun-dried brands to nearly every continent on Earth. Our worldwide customers have come to expect quality products in every shipment. At George F. Brocky & Sons, we build relationships with our loyal customers to help maximize yields and ensure top quality. Stop by our facility in Kendrick and say hello. And as always, go Tigers. And hey, I just got to throw this one in there. Bearable Dentistry in Moscow is your place to go for exceptional dental care on the Palouse. Bearable Dentistry has been serving the communities surrounding Moscow for over 40 years. And you can call them at 208-882-3214. Go Tigers. Bearable Dentistry.
So as we start the fourth quarter, 1st and 10 for Kendrick. We've flipped the field. Tigers now working right to left, up 78-0. 1st and 10 from the Dietrich 32-yard line. Maddox Kirkland alone in a shotgun. Receiver in motion left to right is Rally Roetzitzender. Kirkland will throw at the last moment. Little slant route is caught at the 25-yard line. Nice pitch and catch and a gain of 7 over the middle. Kirkland wanted to run, and at the last moment, out of the corner of his eye, he saw the receiver breaking across the middle. I believe that was Xavier Carpenter who made the grab.
Yeah, good decision there from Kirkland, as it looked like the deep go that they had called on the far side was taken away. So he went to his check down option, and they got a nice gain.
So it is 2nd down and 3 for Kendrick now. 11:25 to play. Ball is at the Dietrich 25-yard line. Kirkland screen pass is too high for Roetzitzender. Incomplete. Makes it 3rd down and 3.
That would have been a tough catch, given that he was heading towards the defense, so he was probably worried, had maybe heard a little bit of footsteps happening there, but also he had to sky for it. That's a pretty vulnerable position to be in for a receiver, especially on a screen play, so would have been a tough play overall.
3rd and 3 now for the Tigers, and this is their backup unit at the Dietrich 25-yard line. Receiver to either side. Kirkland, it's a draw play up the middle. This is a good run for Orion Stewart. Stewart will take it across the 20, down to the 16-yard line, a gain of 9 and a 1st down.
And again, that push from that offensive line of Kendrick, and this is the backup unit, by the way. They're getting it done as well. Just great physicality up front, which is what you need in order to have a solid run game. Great balance all night.
The future of Kendrick football before our eyes, and a couple of junior high kids. Water boys, ball boys on that Kendrick sideline. They were running with the rally flag in between quarters as well, getting the Kendrick fans fired up. Screen pass complete on the near side. Roetzitzender inside the 5, into the end zone for the touchdown. That is a 17-yard touchdown connection from Maddox Kirkland to Rally Roetzitzender. And return to sender. 10 minutes to go. 84-0 Kendrick.
Roetzitzender with a fantastic football name, but he's also got some football game as well, as he was able to juke a couple of defenders and power his way into the end zone. He's gotten his name called a couple of times here, and both defensively and offensively. So a good day for him.
It's always nice to see your QB2 come in and throw a nice touchdown pass. Kirkland, 17 yards to Roetzitzender. And now Kendrick will line up and go for 2. Kirkland alone in a shotgun. 2 receivers to the right side. He's looking that direction. Out route is too far in front of Roetzitzender. So only the 2nd time today that Kendrick has failed to convert on the 2-point conversion, and I guess they'll just have to settle for 84-0.
Just a bummer right there. You hate to see it. But Kirkland, sometimes with those out routes, about where the receiver is going to go, and so maybe you get a little bit antsy and deliver it too quickly or with a little too much juice, and that's probably what happened on that last play there. But we also want to take the opportunity to thank again some of our sponsors. Extreme Excavation in Shoshone offers all kinds of services for public works and private construction needs, from demolition and grading to underground utilities and complex septic systems. That's kind of important. Extreme Excavation has a trusted reputation for meeting and completing tough and unique projects. They offer free estimates within a 100-mile radius. Get yours by calling 208-544-ROCK or go to ExtremeExcavationInc.com. Again, that's ExtremeExcavationInc.com.
The way you said rock made it sound like you were like at a radio station, classic rock.
The 80s, 90s, and now.
Garrison does have that excellent voice. It is so good for broadcasting. And you will hear Garrison on play-by-play for our next game, Logos and Murtaugh. I'll still be here as well, but we'll be swapping roles. I'll have all the insightful comments, and
that's right.
Garrison will call the nuts and bolts of it. That ball is out of bounds on the kickoff at the 25-yard line. Dietrich may make Kendrick re-kick here. They did that in the first half, remember, and instead of getting the ball to 40, they got it around the 15 instead.
Right. Honestly, I was going to say Perkins might not mind seeing the ball go out of bounds. He's been the return guy all game, and he's gotten his fair share of knocks, I'm sure.
Yeah, man. Whatever winter sport he participates in, take it easy on Connor. Maybe those first couple practices, he's been wearing it today. We do have another shout out here. Casey says, I am listening from Boyer Gravel in Lapway. Go Tigers. Brock Boyer is our favorite. All right. Hey, I'm going to guess it's a relation of some kind.
Maybe. Brock Boyer, 2 sacks on the day, 2.5 actually, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, 2.5. Yep. So Kendrick will re-kick from their own 35-yard line, 6:50 and counting, 84-0 lead for Kendrick. Line drive this time, scooped up at the 40, and Kendrick recovers it, scooped up on the return. Xavier Carpenter down to the 25-yard line. Oh, that hit the up man, Rain Reese, and like a bar of soap, he was trying to get it, and it just kept slipping out, and it is Carpenter who scoops it up for Kendrick. 1st and 10 for the Tigers. With the ball at the Dietrich 30-yard line.
I feel for the young man. You know, it's just that desperation mode where your hands just aren't working. You know the defense, you know the return team, or excuse me, the kick team is coming. You got to grab it quickly. Just couldn't do it. And good opportunistic play from Kendrick to pounce on it. And now they've got, once again, good field position.
Hey, when it's your day, it's your day. When it's your 3 years, it's your 3 years for Kendrick. 2-time defending champions. They actually spot it back at the 40. 1st down, slant pass complete on the near sideline to Rowetz at center. That is a gain of 5 to make it 2nd and 5.
And a group substitution coming in here for Kendrick. They look like big-time youngsters here.
I mean, think about this. This is 8-man football, and they're bringing in the 3rd unit. How many teams go 3 deep?
Apparently Kendrick. I mean, this is just great depth and a great learning experience here for these youngsters going up against a varsity Dietrich team who's a good program in their own right.
All right, so 2nd and 5 here. More new names to cover. We'll bring them to you as they make plays. Handoff off the right side. This is a big opening inside the 25, and finally brought down there on the carry for the Tigers was Orion Stewart again, and Stewart will take it for a gain of 12 and a 1st down.
What a cool name. Orion's Belt, anybody? Orion Stewart with a nice run there, standing at 5'6", 144. He's a freshman. The future just looks bright here for Kendrick going forward.
Which is ironic because you can only see Orion's Belt at night. So.
And we're seeing it at day, apparently.
4:55 to play here. 84-0. Kendrick and the Stars are out today, no doubt about it. Handoff up the middle to the 21-yard line. That is a gain of 3. Tough yardage that time, and on the carry for the Tigers was Leighton Brown Sherrill.
Yeah, if I'm Dietrich here, I'm looking for a small win. Let's keep this unit out of the end zone here. Let's force a turnover, something. Let's make something positive happen here towards the end of this game with a running clock.
So 4:15 and rolling, 2nd and 8 for Kendrick from the Dietrich 21-yard line. Kirkland with a guy in motion will fake the sweep, will go off the right side inside the 10, the 5, and into the end zone for the touchdown. Maddox Kirkland. Quarterback keeper calls his own number, takes it in from 21 yards away. 90-0, Kendrick.
Well, as soon as I say that, of course, Kirkland takes it in for the score. But, okay, now the small win would be going down and scoring, putting some points on the board here before the game's over. So let's move the goalposts over there.
And that's now 2 touchdowns for Kirkland, 1 through the air, 1 on the ground. And the 2-point conversion and a chance for more here with 3:35 to play. Kirkland alone in a shotgun formation, looking to pass, and instead will look right into the arms of Wyatt Sneddon, who came on the pass rush. Now, Sneddon is only a sophomore, and Kirkland is a freshman. So these two could be, hey, nice to meet you. I'll see you again next year, maybe.
Yeah, that's right. But My goodness, I guess like you've said before, Kendrick will just have to settle for 90 this time around as we're heading towards 3 minutes left in this game. And for Dietrich here, I'm just pulling out all the stops, whether that be a trick play or something like that. Just send it. You got under 3 minutes now with the clock still running. It's time to bring those special plays out now and have some fun with this.
Definitely. And so, Kendrick leading 90-0, 2:45 and rolling. You can see how they would win a game by a 112-6 margin like they did 2 weeks ago in their regular season finale.
Oh, absolutely. And as you had mentioned, they kept the starters out there because they were heading into a bye week and wanted some of that rust to stay off of them. So they had them out for an extended period of time. And, I'm sure some people may have taken issue with that. But, again, it's a lose-lose situation when you're winning like this, because on one hand, if you take your foot off the gas too much, the other team's going to see that as disrespectful. But if you put the points on like they have been, then that's also tough. So,
squib kick fielded by Brody Torgerson, and then he just sits down on his backside there, takes a seat at the 45-yard line for Torgerson, and it'll be 1st and 10 now for Dietrich from their own 45-yard line. Rolling clock here, 1:50 to play, 90-0 lead for Kendrick. If we've got any more inventory on the commercials, let's get those out of the way.
Sure. How about Lettenmeyer Grocery operating as Phil's Family Foods on Main Street in Kendrick is a proud supporter of Kendrick Athletics and wants to wish the Tigers good luck. And, hey, Kendrick AG and Supply, a full-service mechanic shop and tire center. They can service autos, pickups, ATVs, and, of course, AG Equipment. You can find them on Facebook for updates on new things. Kendrick AG and Supply. Go Tigers.
1st and 10 for Dietrich from their own 35. Perkins strung out and brought down by O'Brien along the far sideline after a gain of a yard. We're down to 1:10 to play now. Dietrich would love a score here before the end.
Is Dietrich still under 20 yards of rushing?
Oh, man, I would have to calculate that.
Well, if so, just again, a testament to the speed and the athleticism of that Tigers defense.
2nd and 8. Perkins back to pass, has his man on the out route. That is caught by Brody Torgerson, lowers the shoulder at the 40 and takes it to the 38-yard line. Nice pitch and catch and a pickup of 15 for a 1st down.
Good physical play there and a good hit from the youngster. That was number 22, Jamie Roberts, who is 5'8", 142, going against Torgelson.
30 seconds to play. Another out route. Emmett Zimmers extending and diving and making the catch at the 30-yard line. And now Dietrich will spend one of their timeouts to stop the clock here with 23 seconds to play. Ball will be right at the 30-yard line following the 8-yard completion to Emmett Zimmers. Good effort by Zimmers to dive for it on that far side.
Now's the time to pull out one of those deep plays here. And honestly, I might throw out like a hook and ladder or something like that. You got 23 seconds left. Just run a little hook play and then, boom, pitch it to one of your speedsters streaking down the sideline. Touchdown, Dietrich. And as we all know, those late fourth quarter rules apply there. That would actually be worth 90 points. No, I'm just
right. Here in the XFL, where we make up our own rules.
Right.
Yeah, and for Dietrich, we talked about a strong finish here, sets the tone for the offseason. They're only losing 3 seniors off of this team. So the lineup here and go 4 wide, 2 receivers stacked to either side. Torgerson is the far wide receiver closest to us. Perkins back to pass. Kendrick rushes 2. Perkins going to the end zone looking for Torgerson. He got tangled up. His feet got tangled up with Leighton Brown Sherrill of Kendrick. Pass is incomplete. With 10 seconds to go, the clock won't stop. Will Dietrich have time for one more play? I don't think they're going to get it off in time. They may. Let's see. 3, 2, and 1. They do get a snap off as time expires. Perkins rolling left side, going to bomb it to the end zone, and it will fall incomplete, and that will do it. The Kendrick Tigers will win in convincing fashion, 90-0 the final, and they will prepare for another semifinal game next week, probably going to be right here in this same spot against either Mullen St. Regis or Hagerman. What a win for the Tigers.
Yeah, fantastic win for the Tigers, just wall-to-wall excellence. As we had mentioned in the pregame, they came out, they put a stomping on the opponent early, and they were able to coast to victory as a result.
So Kendrick wins 90-0. The IdahoSports.com postgame show headed your way next, where we will hand out our IdahoSports.com player of the game. Stay tuned for that as Kendrick wins 90-0. Back right after this on IdahoSports.com.
As Idahoans, we're not afraid to take risks.
All the way, all the way. Go. All the way down, all the way down.
Driving under the influence is not a risk we're willing to take. Be around to do more of what you love.
We do things differently in Idaho. Sometimes we go east to find west, where muddy trails meet huckleberry smiles. Stars shine electric, and the wind smells like destiny. Sure, our traffic jams are strange, and not all our steaks are ribeyes. But wherever we go, our eyes never leave the road. Belts strapped and dreams packed, no distractions, no phones, focused. From here to there, it's who we are.
Welcome into the IdahoSports.com postgame show. One final time from the Kibbe Dome in Moscow, where the Kendrick Tigers are advancing once again. Third straight year, 1A D2 semifinals, a 90-0 victory over the Dietrich Blue Devils. Brandon Bainey alongside Garrison Hardy one final time. It is time for our IdahoSports.com player of the game, brought to you by the Idaho Office of Highway Safety, reminding you to always keep your head in the game, whether you're on the field or on the road. Be in the moment and free from distractions. Well, a guy who broke free numerous times today, Hunter Taylor, a well-deserved IdahoSports.com player of the game. He touched the ball 3 times today, Garrison, and scored all 3 times. He had 2 catches for 116 yards and 2 touchdowns, returned a punt 70 yards for a score, also had a fumble recovery on defense.
He's just got a nose for the ball. You know, we've been talking about that for all the Kendrick players. Really, they've got a nose for the ball. But Hunter Taylor just has that instinct for the game. And as I mentioned, as a former collegiate wide receiver myself, seeing the way he stemmed that one route here on the near sideline, cut it back towards the sideline, and was able to tiptoe all the way down to the end zone. It was a beautiful thing to watch. Really, anytime he touched the ball, I said earlier, he's lightning in a bottle, and just brings the excitement anytime he's got the ball in his hands.
Well, Kendrick brought the excitement and the thunder in a 90-0 victory over Dietrich. The Tigers will play the winner of Mullen St. Regis and Hagerman. Those two will play tomorrow at 1 o'clock in Mullen on IdahoSports.com. And for Dietrich, their season concludes with a 6-4 record, but they'll be back and better than ever again next season. This has been an IdahoSports.com GameStreams production of the 2023 Idaho High School Football Playoffs, presented by the Idaho Transportation Department and Ideal, Idaho's college savings program. Additional coverage today has been brought to you by Project Filter, the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare, Valleywide Cooperative, Next Steps Idaho, Your Health Idaho, and your local Toyota dealers. Big thanks to all of our local sponsors here today as well, Garrison. Who did we have?
Oh my goodness! We had quite the group of them as well. You know, on Kendrick's side, or excuse me, on Dietrich's side, they had Shaw Land and Livestock. They had Extreme Excavation. They had Donnelly Farms, and then on Kendrick's side, they had Ken and Valerie Hobart with Windermere Real Estate, Strom Electric, George F. Brocky and Sons, Bearable Dentistry, Kendrick AG and Supply, and Lettenmeyer Grocery.
Big thanks to everybody here at the Kibbe Dome in Moscow. Coach Estelle for Dietrich, Coach Hobart for Kendrick, taking us in and making us sound smart by giving us good info. As again, Kendrick wins 90-0, powered by our IdahoSports.com player of the game, Hunter Taylor. That's presented by the Idaho Transportation Department. Stay tuned, everybody. Coming up in about a half an hour, we've got our second game today from the Kibbe Dome, a 1A D1 quarterfinal, the Murtaugh Red Devils and the Logos Knights. One final time, though, for Garrison Hardy. I'm Brandon Baney. Thanks for tuning in to the 1A D2 postseason on IdahoSports.com.
Did you know Idaho high school seniors graduating next spring are eligible for up to $8,000 in grant money for career training and education through Idaho Launch? Funds can be used to cover the cost of apprenticeships, job training, community college, and university programs that lead to in-demand careers. Students choose their own path, and Idaho Launch helps pay for it. Funds are limited. Apply today at nextsteps.idaho.gov/launch. Idaho Launch. Support in every direction.
Through storms and bad weather, sure as the sun.
You're welcome. These are hot chocolate milk.
You're welcome.
From the desert to the freezing cold, wish I could see it from the stars.
Those are eggs and cream cheese. Can I get you anything else?
Good
to go. Okay, great. Try it out.
We're working together to build a more sustainable future. Learn more at unbottled.com.
This is not what I asked for.
Once again, we have contributed to your ideal college savings program. Love, Grandma and Grandpa.
Give the gift of college savings this holiday season with Ideal, Idaho's 529 college savings program. Eventually, they'll appreciate it.
I love it. Thank you.
College costs money.
This has been a presentation of IdahoSports.com GameStreams. This broadcast is copyrighted to IdahoSports.com. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this broadcast without the expressed written consent of IdahoSports.com is strictly prohibited.